Hello, my dear story keeper. Today we're diving into another post-apocalyptic story that's just as captivating as the previous one. The main character, Lin Shi, rises from an ordinary person to become the strongest god across two worlds. By the way, I've changed the voice. If you prefer the new one or the old one, feel free to leave a comment below. Now, let's get into the story. Frozen on the lake surface, Lin Shi used an ice pick to smash hard against the ice layer. The ice broke open about a meter wide, faintly revealing a frozen herring. Lin Shi's saliva involuntarily secreted. He thought this fish would be dinner for him and Zhao Xiao. Zhao Xiao had been his friend for 14 years. The two had survived the apocalypse together for 8 years. He was the person he trusted the most. This time he went out to find food, while Zhao Xiao stood guard. Suddenly, amidst the howling cold wind, a very faint sound rang out. Lin Shi's pupils shrank. A silenced gunshot. A severe pain spread across his back. Lin Shi collapsed to the ground, the ice pick flying 3 meters away. What happened? How could someone sneak up so close without Zhao Xiao sounding the alarm? Money? He turned his head with difficulty. Zhao Xiao was standing next to Shen Jinbin, his sworn enemy. The two were laughing and talking cheerfully. He faintly heard their words carried by the wind. Space Lin Shi doesn't deserve it. Your shelter, Zhao Xiao, betrayed him again? Fresh blood poured out of Lin Shi's body. He was getting colder by the second, but compared to the physical pain and freezing cold, what made it harder to accept and more despairing was being betrayed by the person he trusted most. The two walked toward Lin Shi. Shen Jinbin looked down at him, no longer hiding the disdain in his eyes. Lin Shi, you've fallen into my hands. Lin Shi gritted his teeth, blood seeping out, staring fixedly at Zhao Xiao. The lower half of his body had lost all sensation. All of this was caused by his good friend, his good brother. Zhao Xiao didn't dare look into Lin Shi's bloodshot eyes. Looking away, he said, Lin Shi, don't blame me. I also contributed to unlocking the space. But you always treated it as your own. You refused to share it so we could go to the shelter together. We're joining young Master Shen together. From now on, your space will serve young Master Shen. You won't have to struggle to find supplies anymore. I'm doing this for your own good. The apocalypse is getting more and more dangerous. Haha, you betrayed me for this? Bullshit! Lin Shi's mouth was full of fresh blood as he laughed maniacally. Zhao Xiao knew very well that Shen Jinbin was one of the people he hated most in his life. They had helped each other for 8 years without abandoning one another. Yet they fell out over a space he had just awakened half a year ago. The treasure bowl space was bound to his soul. Going to the shelter alone would mean a better life than now, but Zhao Xiao had lost his value among those cannibals. He clearly did it for him, yet ended up like this. Lin Shi stopped laughing, closed his eyes, then opened them, speaking to Shen Jinbin in a firm tone. I can work for you, but Zhao Xiao is useless. Zhao Xiao's jaw dropped, panic flashing in his eyes. He turned to look at Shen Jinbin. Young Master Shen, you won't, Lin Shi interrupted. He'll tell you, and he'll tell others too. My space has nothing to do with him. One more person knowing means a greater risk of exposure. At this moment, Lin Shi's eyes were bloodshot, the depths of his gaze terrifyingly calm. He was clearly in agony, but a smile still hung on his face, sending chills down one's spine. Zhao Xiao glared at Lin Shi, fear and resentment in his eyes. He forced a stiff smile and said to Shen Jinbin, Young Master Shen, I provided you with the information about the space, didn't I? I can help you keep an eye on Lin Shi in case he does anything against you. Yes, you indeed have merit. Shen Jinbin nodded, making Zhao Xiao's smile even more fake. I will always remember your contribution. Zhao Xiao startled, his body trembling. He wanted to say something else, but Shen Jinbin fired a shot straight into his head. He never intended to let Zhao Xiao live. Fresh blood sprayed from the back of Zhao Xiao's head. It happened in a flash. Just as Shen Jinbin was pulling the gun away from Zhao Xiao's head, Lin Shi suddenly pushed hard off the ground with one hand and threw a sharp block of ice at Shen Jinbin with the other. Whether by luck or not, the ice block hit Shen Jinbin right in the head. Shen Jinbin fell, the gun dropping from his hand, less than a meter away from Lin Shi. Lin Shi struggled to crawl toward the handgun, closer and closer. One shot wasn't enough. He wanted to kill Shen Jinbin. Kill him! Lin Shi's eyes burned with hatred. Just as he reached the gun, a flash of joy appeared in his eyes. Lin Shi was shot in the back of the head. His consciousness sank into darkness. Tick-tock. Lin Shi jolted awake, panting heavily. Wasn't he dead? There was a fourth person in that fight just now. Who was it? From where? Only then did Lin Shi realize that the wounds on his body had disappeared. The surroundings were warm, the bed soft, completely different from the freezing cold of the apocalypse. The piercing ticking sound continued. Lin Shi stared blankly at the phone on the bedside table. A phone? 2023? Phones had broken down at the very beginning of the apocalypse. What the hell is going on? It took Lin Shi quite a while to calm down. He confirmed it. He had been reborn. He had returned to before the apocalypse happened. Returned to before the cannibalistic doomsday began. It was currently 7:30 a.m. on March 1st, 2023. He was only 19 years old, a college freshman in this city. He usually lived at home instead of the dorms. Lin Shi stood on his bedroom balcony, breathing in the fresh air and the warm March sunlight. Looking down from the 28th floor balcony, the streets below were bustling with traffic. But in just a little while, the chaos would begin. This prosperous and peaceful scene would soon be replaced by endless white snow. It would never be seen again. The cause lay right there. Up there, the sun hanging high in the sky. Lin Shi raised a hand to shield his eyes, looking toward the sun, the source of human life. Humanity probably never thought about what would happen if something went wrong with the sun. But Lin Shi knew. That was the disaster, the apocalypse of humanity. 3 months later, on June 1st, an unprecedented SS-class solar flare explosion would occur in the history of human science. According to scientist calculations, that was the beginning of the apocalypse. Because the solar flare explosion was too sudden, there was no prior warning. By the time Xia Nation's scientists noticed the anomaly, the particle cloud was already approaching Earth. It was already June 3rd. Humanity only had 1 day to react. Even the governments hadn't had time to reach a consensus. At 10 o'clock a.m. on June 4th, a massive electromagnetic pulse destroyed all artificial satellites orbiting the Earth. Not a single one remained intact. All electronic devices stopped working. Immediately after, a global geomagnetic storm swept across the planet. In an instant, humanity lost the fruits of hundreds of years of electrification, reverting to a dark, primitive society. But that wasn't the most terrifying part. After the sun exploded, it seemed to enter a phase of decline. The giant fireball that sustained human life became so dim it was visible to the naked eye. Within just 3 days, the global average temperature plummeted to minus 50-something degrees. The entire Earth froze over, entering an apocalyptic ice age. Over 90% of living species faced extinction. Animals, plants, food, and even small buildings. Everything was buried under thick layers of ice and snow. Humanity faced an unprecedented disaster in history. From then on, a packet of instant noodles became incredibly precious. Just a single lighter could make people risk their lives to fight for it. Lin Shi returned to his room, thought for a moment, opened his safe, and took out an ugly bowl. This bowl had a rough, dirty surface and was entirely unremarkable. There was even a crack on the edge. If you took it out to the streets and squatted down, you could use it to beg. Previously, his father had made a special will just for this broken bowl. Lin Shi had always found it strange, but ever since he unlocked this bowl and gained the space inside, he finally understood its uniqueness. This was a treasure bowl. It required a special item to unlock, or rather, repair. In his previous life, it wasn't until the 8th year of the apocalyptic ice age that he accidentally repaired the treasure bowl and gained the space inside. Unfortunately, by then, the supplies he found weren't even enough to fill his stomach, let alone store inside. When the apocalypse comes, what's the most important thing? Supplies. Supplies that you can carry with you without fear of being robbed. Right now, the first thing he wanted to do was unlock the treasure bowl. The item needed to unlock it was something Lin Shi had found at the antique market in the southern part of the city in his previous life. He couldn't delay. That item was tied to his most important plan after his rebirth. Lin Shi decided to head out immediately. He found a backpack, put the treasure bowl inside, slung it over his shoulder, and left the apartment. Going downstairs and seeing a breakfast stall, Lin Shi just remembered he hadn't eaten breakfast. He was used to starvation in the apocalypse, often going 2 or 3 days without finding food and having to eat snow to stave off hunger. Lin Shi walked into the breakfast stall and devoured a hearty meal like a starving wolf. After eating, relying on his memories from his past life and the help of a map, he drove to the street antique market in the south of the city. In the past, this antique market spanned a whole street with hundreds of stalls, bustling with people. In his previous life, Lin Shi and Zhao Xiao had found the key item to repair the treasure bowl here, an old coin with a special pattern. In his past life, that old coin was dug up from under thick snow. Lin Shi only remembered clearly that it was at this antique market. He didn't remember the exact location, so he could only search step by step. The most common items at the antique market were old coins. Almost every stall had them, piled up in heaps of hundreds. After searching for 2 hours, Lin Shi still hadn't found the old coin with the special pattern. His gaze grew slightly heavy. He had just heard that this antique market only had many stalls on weekend mornings. Moreover, the vendors weren't fixed every time. This was definitely bad news. If the vendor who had that special old coin only opened shop on the day of the apocalypse, wouldn't he have to wait 3 months to find it? If so, his rebirth advantage would be significantly reduced. In just an hour or two, the stalls on this street would pack up. If he couldn't find it, he could only wait until next weekend to try his luck. Sighing, Lin Shi gritted his teeth in determination and continued searching the remaining stalls. Lin Shi, a familiar voice rang out from behind. Lin Shi narrowed his eyes, a sharp glint flashing in his calm gaze. He wouldn't forget this voice even in his dreams. Zhao Xiao, his classmate from middle school to high school, the friend who shared thick and thin with him for 8 years, only to betray him. Suppressing the killing intent in his eyes, Lin Shi turned his head and asked in feigned surprise, "Zhao Xiao, what are you doing here?" Zhao Xiao, wearing an urban management uniform, walked over and patted Lin Shi's shoulder. "I should be asking you what you're doing here. What's up? The top student wants to play with antiques now?" Zhao Xiao said with a teasing expression. But looking at Lin Shi's handsome face and expensive clothes, a subtle flash of jealousy crossed his eyes. Lin Shi, who had lived a lifetime longer than Zhao Xiao, noticed that jealousy. A cold glint flashed in his eyes. So even in his past life, at this very moment, Zhao Xiao was already dissatisfied with him. Zhao Xiao was an auxiliary worker for the Urban Management Bureau, so it wasn't strange for him to be here. Lin Shi gently brushed off Zhao Xiao's hand from his shoulder and said indifferently, "I had some free time this weekend. Heard there were a lot of antiques here, so I dropped by to take a look." Zhao Xiao sneered inwardly. Having worked here for almost a year, he knew all the goods on this street were scams. Many people came here hoping to score a bargain, but found nothing all year round. Last time, some kid got scammed out of hundreds of thousands and came making a scene, but he wasn't going to tell Lin Shi any of this. Let Lin Shi get scammed. After all, Lin Shi wasn't short on money. He had to maintain his friendly facade, otherwise, how could he leech off Lin Shi? "This fool," Zhao Xiao laughed and said, "There are more fakes than real goods here. Half a year ago, some rich guy spent 200 to buy an authentic Han Dynasty artifact here. He resold it for 500,000. Normally, a 19-year-old would be excited hearing this. Even those who just came to look around would want to buy a few items to try their luck." Lin Shi showed no expression, but sneered inwardly. Why hadn't he noticed how sinister Zhao Xiao was before? "Is that so? Then I'll have to look carefully." Just then, a noisy commotion broke out not far away, and a crowd gathered. Out of curiosity, Lin Shi walked over too. Seeing the chaotic crowd, Zhao Xiao shouted, "Make way! Make way!" Urban management coming through the crowd immediately parted to make a path. Lin Shi walked to the front. A young man around 25 or 26, looking agitated, was holding an old coin, spitting as he yelled. "Old man, I took this to get appraised. Yesterday, this is a modern imitation. A fake. You sold it to me for 100,000. Give me my money back. You have to refund me today." The stall owner was an old man in his 70s, wearing coarse cloth clothes, his weathered face covered in wrinkles. "This is my family's heirloom." "What heirloom? Are you refunding me or not? If not, I'm calling the cops." The onlookers all had expressions of schadenfreude, watching the drama unfold. Xiao Xiao leaned into Lin Shi's ear and whispered, "This kind of thing happens here every few months. In the past, this kid would have definitely gotten beaten up. Playing with antiques has rules now. Once you buy something, even if it's fake, you can't return it. You just have to accept your lack of knowledge and consider it paying for a lesson." But clearly, this young man either didn't understand or pretended not to, insisting on a refund. Lin Shi looked at the old coin in the young man's hand, and his pupils suddenly shrank. That was the exact old coin needed to unlock the treasure bowl. The old man's hands trembled, his face bitter. "This really is my family's heirloom. It's been passed down since my great-grandfather's time. Young man, I didn't scam you." Many people in the crowd looked at the young man with unfriendly eyes. Did this kid not know the rules? Some felt the old man was acting too well. He already got it appraised. How could an appraisal mistake a real item for a fake? Lin Shi took a deep breath, stepped up to the young man, and asked curiously, "Could you let me see that old coin?" Qin Tai saw that the newcomer was a student younger than him and waved his hand impatiently. Get lost, step aside." Lin Shi wasn't angry and replied, "I like collecting unique old coins. I really like this coin of yours. Can you sell it to me?" As soon as he said that, the crowd immediately buzzed with discussion. Was this kid an idiot? It was obviously a fake, yet he still wanted to buy it. Is this a student? Does he really have that much money? Zhao Xiao was also stunned, not understanding why Lin Shi would buy such an obvious fake. He knew Lin Shi was very rich. 100,000 he'd have to work as an urban management officer for 3 years without eating or drinking to save that much. With that money, how many good things could he do? Yet he was buying this piece of junk standing behind Lin Shi. A flash of jealousy crossed Xiao Xiao's eyes. They were the same age, so why was Lin Shi's fate so much better than his? Hearing Lin Shi agree to buy it, Qin Tai's eyes lit up, and he immediately handed the old coin to Lin Shi. It was an old coin that looked like gold, but wasn't. One side was engraved with a gold ingot, and the other side had some bizarre characters and patterns. Many people leaned in to take a look, then shook their heads and walked away. Most of the onlookers were regulars at the antique market, looking for a chance to score a bargain, so they had a good eye. This old coin looked brand new, and the patterns didn't match the coins of any dynasty. It looked like an arcade token for kids. Everyone looked at Lin Shi like he was a fool with too much money. A kind old man reminded the kid, "Look carefully before you buy." Lin Shi felt the heat radiating from the treasure bowl in his backpack, confirming this was exactly what he was looking for. Even if this old coin was worthless, it could unlock a storage space. To Lin Shi, that was a priceless treasure. Lin Shi said, 100,000, I'll buy it. Qin Tai rolled his eyes, sizing up Lin Shi's clothes, and said, 150,000, take it. He had just wanted a refund, but now that Lin Shi wanted to buy it, he was asking for a higher price. The surrounding crowd immediately looked at him with disdain. Lin Shi smiled, turned around, and prepared to leave. He silently counted to 3. This guy would definitely call him back. Sure enough, before he could take 2 steps, someone called out to stop him. But it wasn't Qin Tai. It was the old vendor. Young man, if you want this kind of old coin, I have another one here. I'll sell it to you for 100,000. Lin Shi immediately turned back. You have another one? The old man, trembling, reached into his coat, pulled out a cloth bag, and took out another old coin, handing it to Lin Shi. He really needed the money. His son had leukemia. Otherwise, he wouldn't have brought out this family heirloom to sell. His ancestors left behind 2 old coins, insisting they must not be lost. But if he didn't sell them today, his family line would end. Selling these 2 old coins would be enough for his son's surgery. Lin Shi took the old coin, hiding his shock and joy. Sure enough, they were identical. The treasure bowl reacted too. He didn't expect there to be not just 1 but 2 of these old coins. Old man? How many of these old coins do you have? Lin Shi asked. Only these 2. They're family heirlooms. If I didn't need the money urgently, I wouldn't sell them. The old man sighed. This was the answer he expected. There definitely weren't many of these special old coins. The one in his hand was probably the one he found in his previous life, while Qin Tai's was the one he hadn't found. I'll buy this one. Lin Shi nodded to the old man, taking out his phone to transfer the money. Seeing Lin Shi pay so readily, Qin Tai looked closely at the old coin in his hand, wondering if it held some secret. The old man, having sold the coin, happily packed up his stall and prepared to leave. Lin Shi saw Qin Tai's expression and knew he was getting suspicious. He absolutely had to get that second coin. But from their brief exchange, he knew Qin Tai was greedy. If he realized the trick, he would definitely raise the price, or even refuse to sell. Therefore, after paying the old man, Lin Shi turned and walked away, acting completely uninterested in the coin in Qin Tai's hand. Seeing Lin Shi act so indifferent, Qin Tai got a little anxious. In the end, he still trusted his cousin's appraisal. He hurriedly stopped Lin Shi. Hey bro, look, why don't you buy this one too? Lin Shi replied unhappily. Just now you said you'd sell it for 100,000, but then you wouldn't. Now I already have one. This one is meaningless to me. Qin Tai glanced at the old man who was about to leave and stopped pestering him. He knew the chances of getting a refund were slim. After all, the rules of the antique world were clear. He had only tried to make a fuss because he was young and reckless. He hurriedly said, Now I'll sell it to you for 100,000. I bought it for 100,000. I won't make a dime off you, okay? Lin Shi glanced at him indifferently. 50,000. After some haggling, Lin Shi bought the second old coin from Qin Tai for 80,000. Lin Shi looked at the 2 old coins in his palm, a faint smile playing on his lips. If he hadn't come today, he would have missed out on this. He was eager to see what changes the treasure bowl would undergo this time. Glancing at Zhao Xiao with an annoyed look, Lin Shi hurried home. He would deal with Zhao Xiao sooner or later, but not now. Arriving home, Lin Shi locked the door carefully, went into the windowless storage room, and closed the door. Unlocking the treasure bowl would cause quite a commotion. He couldn't let anyone notice anything unusual. He took out the slightly warm treasure bowl. Lin Shi placed 1 old coin inside. The treasure bowl immediately floated up, emitting a blinding light. The dirt covering it peeled off piece by piece, revealing its original appearance. Then, it turned into a golden streak of light and flew into Lin Shi's forehead. Lin Shi's vision blurred, and a game-like interface appeared. Treasure bowl. Storage space function. 3i3x3. Wealth points required for upgrade. 1,000. The storage space had appeared. Lin Shi clenched his fists, unable to hide his joy. The space was about the size of a small room, except for living creatures. Anything that fit could be stored using his mind. Time inside the space was frozen. Items maintained the state they were in when put inside. Most importantly, this space could be upgraded using gold, silver, and jewels. In his previous life, Lin Shi had tried using gold and silver to upgrade the space. Unfortunately, by the 8th year of the apocalypse, those things were buried under thick snow. He hadn't even completed the level 1 upgrade. He wondered if having an extra old coin in this life would change the treasure bowl. Lin Shi held the second old coin and placed it against his forehead. Instantly, Lin Shi felt his forehead heat up. The old coin in his hand vanished. The treasure bowl interface before his eyes seemed to glitch, becoming blurry. A moment later, the interface returned to normal, and sure enough, there was a massive change. Treasure bowl. Storage space function, 3x3x3. Wealth points required for upgrade, 1000. Item duplication function, 3. Wealth points required for upgrade, 1000. An extra duplication function. Lin Shi's eyes lit up. He wanted to test this duplication function. He immediately got to work, preparing for the test. He only had 3 duplication attempts. He couldn't waste them. Lin Shi thought for a moment, returned to his bedroom, opened the safe, and took out 5 100-gram gold bars. Holding them in his hand, he muttered, "Duplicate item." A golden light flashed before his eyes. A second later, 5 identical gold bars appeared, falling from mid-air and clinking crisply against the floor. Lin Shi immediately squatted down, picked up the gold bars and placed them on the table one by one to compare with the ones in his hand. The 5 duplicated gold bars were identical in size and weight, no different from the originals. Even a tiny scratch on one of them was perfectly copied. Lin Shi glanced at the treasure bowl interface. The item duplication count had changed to item duplication. 2. The current international gold price was 430 RMB per gram. Pawnshops bought gold at 10 RMB below market price. These gold bars were relics left by his father. The 5 gold bars could currently be sold for 210,000 RMB. With the duplication function, the treasure bowl had just increased his assets by 210,000 RMB. Treasure bowl, it really is a treasure bowl, Lin Shi muttered. This extraordinary wealth-accumulating ability was definitely the legendary treasure bowl. Xia Nation had many legends about the treasure bowl, with various versions. The most famous was the story of a man named Shen Wansen. Legend had it that Shen Wansen accidentally acquired a treasure bowl. Anything put inside would multiply until it was full. Thanks to this, Shen Wansen became a famously wealthy merchant during the Ming dynasty. His wealth was boundless. If the number of duplications for this treasure bowl was unlimited, becoming as rich as him was only a matter of time. Could this still not be its complete form? Lin Shi calmly looked at the 10 gold bars before him, letting his boiling emotions gradually settle. Although he knew that if he continued duplicating, the 10 gold bars in his hand would become 20. The treasure bowl interface showed only 2 duplication attempts left. He wasn't sure if these 3 attempts were the limit or if they could be replenished. If there were only 3, he had to save the remaining 2 for more crucial moments. Moreover, in the legend, Shen Wansen was suspected by the emperor because he had too much wealth, and he died because of it. An innocent man gets into trouble because of his wealth. If he suddenly became that rich, he might very well be targeted by the government. Thinking of this, Lin Shi decided to use the 5 duplicated gold bars to upgrade the treasure bowl. He picked up one bar and muttered, "Upgrade space." A few red words suddenly appeared on the treasure bowl interface. Duplicated items cannot be used for upgrades. Why couldn't they be used? Lin Shi carefully inspected the gold bar. It was no different from a normal gold bar. Confirming there were no loopholes, Lin Shi was slightly disappointed, but it made sense. He picked up another gold bar taken from the safe earlier and muttered, "Upgrade space." The numbers on the interface suddenly jumped. It became treasure bowl. Storage space function, 3x3x3. Wealth points required for upgrade, 500. Item duplication function, 2. Wealth points required for upgrade, 100,000. 1 100-gram gold bar exchanged for 500 wealth points. 1 gram of gold exchanged for 5 wealth points. Lin Shi already knew this from his previous life. If it were silver, 50 grams exchanged for 1 wealth point. Lin Shi used another gold bar. The interface changed and the space upgraded. Treasure bowl. The treasure bowl has 2 functions. Storage space, 6x6x6. Duplication can duplicate items. 2. To upgrade the storage function requires 2,000 wealth points. To upgrade the duplication function requires 100,000 wealth points. The storage space had expanded significantly. Although the dimensions only doubled, the volume had increased 8 times compared to the original. However, the wealth points required for the upgrade also doubled. 2 gold bars, worth 84,000 RMB, were gone. If it were 3 years ago, he wouldn't even have the means to upgrade the treasure bowl. 3 years ago, Lin Shi's father passed away suddenly, leaving behind an inheritance and 10 million RMB in death compensation. The treasure bowl was a relic his father left him. Currently, besides the house and a few gold bars, he also had 1.452 million RMB in cash. This amount of money was insignificant in High City, where wealthy tycoons gathered, but for a 19-year-old, it was a huge sum. However, for Lin Shi, it still wasn't enough. To upgrade the storage space to the next level required 4 gold bars, equivalent to 172,000 RMB in cash. To upgrade the duplication function required nearly 848,000 RMB. He also needed to stockpile a lot of supplies and build a shelter. All of this required a lot of money. Lin Shi thought for a moment and came up with an idea. He took out his phone, found the numbers of a few real estate agents, and called them one by one. The first thing Lin Shi wanted to do was sell his apartment near the city center. Experience from his past life showed Lin Shi that during the apocalyptic ice age, these high-rise buildings were not suitable for survival. High City had flat terrain and a booming economy, with high-rises packed closely together, but that couldn't help this city of tens of millions survive. Architecture in the south was primarily designed for good heat dissipation, and the cooling systems were excellent. But when the apocalypse hit, most of the population in southern cities froze to death. The apocalyptic ice age lasted for 6 months. The average temperature in High City plummeted from 30 degrees to below 50 degrees. Those reinforced concrete high-rises would deform and fracture after the severe freeze. Luxurious glass windows would be shattered by blizzards. The building's foundations would gradually freeze and slowly collapse. Within just a few months, most high-rises would crumble. Many people who didn't freeze to death died from collapsing buildings. In his previous life, Lin Shi's building didn't collapse, but the building next to it did, dragging his building down with it. Luckily, Lin Shi noticed in time and narrowly escaped death. In this life, of course, he couldn't stay there. This apartment had a great location, close to the city center. Over the past decade or so, housing prices in China had skyrocketed. Housing prices in Hay City had always been high. Even though Lin Shi's 128 square meter apartment was old, it still cost 80,000 RMB per square meter. The total value was around 10 million RMB. Lin Shi only had 2 requirements for selling the house: a quick transaction and full payment up front. These 2 requirements sounded difficult, but Hay City had no shortage of rich people. Lin Shi set the final asking price at 9 million RMB. He made it clear to the agents that he didn't care how much they sold it for, he only needed 9 million RMB. Whoever sold it the fastest would get to keep the difference. Driven by the massive commission, the real estate agents would do everything in their power to help Lin Shi sell it. Even if they only sold it for 9.1 million RMB, they would still make 100,000 RMB. Receiving the information about the apartment, the agents started wondering if Lin Shi was some rich kid. Selling a house quickly still took time, so this was the first thing Lin Shi had to do. His next plan required as much money as possible. The next plan was to use all his assets to buy gold bars from the bank, use the duplication skill to double the amount of gold, then sell the duplicated gold back to the bank to recover his capital. The remaining gold would be used to upgrade the treasure bowl. I'll leave after I finish cleaning up the room. Lin Shi called his tutor to ask for leave due to an emergency at home. With the apocalypse approaching, continuing school was just a waste of time. Lin Shi considered whether he should inform the government about the S-class supersolar flare eruption in 3 months. That way, human casualties and national losses could be minimized. But he immediately dismissed the thought, let alone how an ordinary person like him could contact high-level government officials. Even if he reported it, the police wouldn't believe a word he said. He had no way to prove he was telling the truth and would only be treated as a madman. Posting news of the apocalypse online would be useless too. In recent years, the Earth's climate had been deteriorating, and many people had speculated about various doomsday scenarios. Even if he spoke with absolute certainty, he would only be seen as another paranoid alarmist. He might even bring trouble upon himself. At the end of the day, he was just an ordinary guy. Lin Shi drove to a pawn shop. The gold bars in his safe were all bought by his dad at a gold shop over a decade ago. They could only be sold to a gold shop or a pawn shop. He sold the 5 gold bars, adding 210,000 RMB to his card. By the time he finished all this, it was already dark. Lin Shi ate some grilled fish on the street before heading home satisfied. That night, Lin Shi also drew up a training plan for the next 3 months. The apocalyptic ice age was coming. The elderly and children would die the most. Young people with strong bodies had the highest survival rate. A strong physique could resist the cold, increase survival chances, protect oneself, and deal with post-apocalyptic crises. Just as he finished writing the plan, his phone chimed with a message notification. Lin Shi opened his phone to check. It was a message from his high school classmates' group chat. This was a small group chat with only 6 people. Lin Shi had even pinned this group to the top. It showed how important this group used to be to him. The first message was clearly sent by Zhao Xiao. Zhao Xiao. Brothers, are you free tomorrow night? Let's get together. Everyone, Huang Miao. I'm free. Where are we playing this time? You're treating us, right? Smiling emoji, Zhao Xiao. Going to Huaqiao Club. I've saved up my salary for the past few months and want to treat you guys to a really good meal. Because you guys are my best bros, Sun Xiaodong. Brother Zhao is so generous, but I'm not in high city these few days. Crying emoji, Xu Fei Fei. I'll go cute emoji, Zhao Xiao. Fei Fei, this place isn't really suitable for girls. Shu Chemu, I'm going to college out of province. Eat well, guys. We'll get together next time. Lin Shi looked at the messages, recalling many details he hadn't noticed in his past life. In his previous life, even though Lin Shi and Zhao Xiao were middle school classmates, Zhao Xiao always had his own little clique. He was only superficially acquainted with Lin Shi. Thinking back now, Zhao Xiao's attitude changed right around the time Lin Shi's father passed away. At that time, news of his father's massive death compensation spread throughout High City. After that, Zhao Xiao and a few of his close friends all started getting close to Lin Shi. They frequently used all sorts of excuses to invite Lin Shi out to play. Lin Shi thought everyone was a student and didn't have money, so he paid every time they went out. Looking back, over the 3 years they hung out, big and small, they had spent money hundreds of times. These people had never paid once, especially Zhao Xiao. He was always complaining to Lin Shi, pretending to be pitiful, giving Lin Shi the idea that brothers should share blessings and hardships. He'd say he was treating, but when the time came, he'd always find a way to make Lin Shi pay. Huaqiao Club wasn't a place Zhao Xiao, with his 3,000 RMB monthly salary, could frequent. After his rebirth, Lin Shi was no longer the naive Lin Shi of his past life. He understood all of this. It seemed his purchase of the old coin today had provoked Zhao Xiao, making him eager to mess with him. Seeing Lin Shi hadn't replied, the people in the group started tagging him. Lin Shi chuckled softly. All right then, let's collect some interest first. Lin Shi. Sure, what time tomorrow? The next day, at exactly 5 o'clock a.m., Lin Shi woke up. The treasure bowl interface remained unchanged. After using the duplicated items, it still hadn't recovered. This was expected. After all, if such a powerful skill could be used without limits, it would be truly terrifying. After washing up, Lin Shi went downstairs for a warm-up jog, then began systematically training his full-body muscle groups. He didn't train too intensely, but alternated with stretching exercises. This not only strengthened his muscles, but also made his muscles and joints more flexible. During the apocalypse, he had found the training method that suited him best. Now he just needed to maintain the quality. He shouldn't do high-intensity training on the first day. By 8 o'clock a.m., Lin Shi had returned home. After showering and eating breakfast, Lin Shi started making a list of supplies. The apocalyptic ice age required a lot of things. Based on his past life's experience, Lin Shi listed all the necessities. In the afternoon, Lin Shi called an agent and rented a 1,000 square meter warehouse for a month, paying 1 month's deposit and 1 month's rent, totaling 60,000 RMB. They agreed to sign the contract tomorrow. Lin Shi hung up. Renting the warehouse was a smokescreen. Later, when he bought supplies, he would transport them to the warehouse before putting them into his space. There was a small room in the warehouse for sleeping. Lin Shi decided to move into the warehouse in a few days and stay there until he had gathered enough supplies. In the blink of an eye, it was dark. In the group chat, Zhao Xiao and the others were already calling each other out. Lin Shi changed clothes and drove to Huaqiao Club. When Lin Shi arrived, Zhao Xiao, Huang Miao, and Shu Fei Fei were already sitting in the private room. Shu Fei Fei's eyes lit up when she saw Lin Shi enter. She immediately grabbed his arm and said sweetly, "Lin Shi, why are you so late? Long time no see. Did you miss me?" Shu Fei Fei was always radiant, with fair skin and big sparkling eyes. When she looked at someone, she gave them the feeling that they were the only person in her world, easily making them delusionally think she had feelings for them. In reality, she was like that with everyone. In his past life during the apocalypse, Shu Fei Fei lived much better than he did. A look of disgust flashed in Lin Shi's eyes, and he pulled his arm away. Shu Fei Fei froze. Before she could notice Lin Shi's difference today, Huang Miao called out to him. "Brother Lin, come over here, we have to drink until we drop today." Zhao Xiao glanced at Lin Shi's arm that Shu Fei Fei had just grabbed, the smile on his face visibly fading. "Lin Shi, Huang Miao, I've prepared a special program for you guys today." Zhao Xiao smiled mysteriously. Huang Miao asked curiously, "What program?" A moment later, 4 girls with hot figures walked into the room. Lin Shi twitched his lips, a mocking look in his eyes, calling hostesses and ordering wine. Quite a grand setup. Lin Shi glanced at the bottles of wine on the table. He wanted to see if Zhao Xiao had enough money to pay today. Zhao Xiao smiled at Lin Shi. Lin Shi, I called them for you and Huang Miao. Thanks to both of you for being my brothers. Come on, let's raise a glass. Lin Shi and the other two raised their glasses. Seeing 4 other girls in the room, Xu Feifei was a bit uncomfortable. Zhao Xiao whispered a few words in her ear, and she cheered up. The 4 of them then sang and drank all night. By 1 o'clock a.m., the table was full of empty bottles, and everyone was a bit tipsy. Xu Feifei was dead drunk, mumbling that she wanted to go home. Zhao Xiao immediately said he would take her home. Huang Miao's eyes flashed, and he also said, I'll go with Brother Zhao, it's on the way. Let's go together. Then let's settle the bill and leave together, Lin Shi said with a squinting smile. The waiter went to get the bill. Zhao Xiao came over to Lin Shi, threw an arm around his shoulder, his drunken eyes pausing as he said slyly, Lin Shi, come to my house for dinner tomorrow. My parents really miss you. Remember when my mom wanted to adopt you as her godson? What do you think about it now? It took Lin Shi a few seconds to remember that. Last month, when he went to Zhao Xiao's house, Zhao Xiao's parents seemed to really like Lin Shi and offered to adopt him as their godson, so he could be their son-in-law in the future. Lin Shi's father was from out of province and came to high city. Growing up, Lin Shi had never interacted with his relatives on his father's side. His mother remarried after his father died, and he didn't keep in touch with her relatives either. Zhao Xiao and these people appeared right on time, filling the void in Lin Shi's heart, making him trust them. In his previous life, Lin Shi didn't agree to be the Zhao family's godson, but he was very close to Zhao Xiao. When Zhao Xiao bought a new house, he even borrowed $1 million from him. Then the apocalypse came, and Zhao Xiao's parents both died in the early stages. He never got that money back either. Calculating the time, it was almost time for Zhao Xiao to borrow money from him. No thanks, I'm not used to being someone else's son. Lin Shi smiled, but the smile didn't reach his eyes. Zhao Xiao had an ulterior motive for approaching him from the very beginning. In his past life, he considered Zhao Xiao his best friend and didn't pay attention to many things. Now, after stripping away the filter of friendship, Lin Shi saw that Zhao Xiao's tricks weren't clever at all. He saw through them instantly. This was also because Lin Shi had seen too much human malice in the apocalypse. Being rejected by Lin Shi, Zhao Xiao was slightly stunned. At this moment, the waiter brought the bill. The total is 38,000. We'll round it down to 38,000. The waiter presented the bill to everyone. Zhao Xiao, Huang Miao, and Xu Feifei looked at Lin Shi. Lin Shi frowned. Why are you looking at me? Zhao Xiao said he was treating. Zhao Xiao seemed to suddenly remember, hurriedly patted his pockets, took out his phone and said flusteredly, My phone is dead. Zhao Xiao looked at Lin Shi pleadingly. If it were his past life, Lin Shi would have paid without a second word. But now, Lin Shi sneered, a teasing look in his eyes, and said to the waiter, Get him a charger. The waiter's face darkened. He looked at Zhao Xiao with disdain, then left the room to get a charger. Leaving the room, he muttered to the people outside, Look at that. The people outside immediately understood. The atmosphere in the room grew a bit tense. Huang Miao and Xu Feifei exchanged glances. They were used to Lin Shi paying, so this scene surprised them. Even though Zhao Xiao kept saying he was treating, everyone knew in their hearts what was going to happen. Were Lin Shi and Zhao Xiao fighting? Huang Miao winked. What's wrong with Zhao Xiao? Zhao Xiao didn't understand what was going on either, his face full of anger. Lin Shi doing this made him lose so much face. His phone had battery. He just deliberately turned it off to have an excuse for Lin Shi to pay. Did Lin Shi want him to beg? Zhao Xiao already hated Lin Shi in his heart, but he forced a smile and said, Lin Shi, why don't you cover the bill for today first? I'll treat next time. Lin Shi naturally wasn't going to save Zhao Xiao's face. He asked with a suspicious look, Zhao Xiao, you're the one who said you were treating and called everyone here, right? Don't tell me you offered to treat but didn't bring any money? The smile on Zhao Xiao's face froze. Huang Miao and Xu Feifei both looked at Lin Shi in disbelief. For the past 3 years, they had seen how well Lin Shi treated Zhao Xiao. They had never seen Lin Shi like this before. At this moment, there were still 4 hostesses sitting in the room. They hadn't received their tips yet, and now they had to witness this scene of dodging the bill. Zhao Xiao had sworn he was treating at the beginning, and the girls had heard it. Instantly, looks of disdain, surprise, and contempt were directed at Zhao Xiao. Just then, the waiter returned with a charger, placed it in front of Zhao Xiao, and gestured for him to charge his phone. Zhao Xiao looked at the charger, caught in a dilemma. The waiter coldly urged, Charge it, sir. We're closing in an hour. Zhao Xiao's face turned red, then white, then black, looking like a chameleon. No matter how scheming he was still just a 19-year-old who had just stepped into society. At this point, Zhao Xiao couldn't keep his cool anymore. Enough. Zhao Xiao gritted his teeth, enunciating every word to Lin Shi. Lin Shi, I'm asking you to pay first. Can't we talk about this later? Even now, he still thought he had accidentally done something to upset Lin Shi. As long as he humored Lin Shi like before, Lin Shi would still listen to him. But having experienced Zhao Xiao's betrayal, how could Lin Shi be as weak as before? Lin Shi's face also turned cold. So you really offered to treat without bringing any money? Zhao Xiao felt his self-esteem being trampled on, so angry his eyes turned red. Fine, Lin Shi laughed out loud, his gaze sweeping over everyone. Then let's split the bill. What? Split the bill? This time, Huang Miao and Xu Feifei couldn't stay calm either. Xu Feifei frowned. We came out to play, and you're making me, a girl, pay? Huang Miao's eyes darted around, and he said awkwardly, I didn't know we were splitting the bill today. I didn't bring any money. Huang Miao nudged Zhao Xiao, whose face was already as black as the bottom of a pot. Brother Zhao, how did you offend Brother Lin? Hurry up and apologize to him. Zhao Xiao looked at Lin Shi with a sneer, wishing he could rush up and beat him. He had absolutely no idea how he had offended Lin Shi. Lin Shi ignored the three of them and paid his own share, 10,000. He casually gave the two girls sitting next to him a 2,000 tip each. The other two girls serving Huang Miao immediately looked at him with disdain, regretting why they hadn't sat next to Lin Shi. Lin Shi walked away, leaving Zhao Xiao and the other two staring in shock, facing the waiter's cold urging. You're still short 28,000. Please pay. Was Lin Shi really like this? The three of them still couldn't believe it. Lin Shi, who was usually so easygoing, had become so cold-blooded. Before they could react, Lin Shi was already gone. Lin Shi, wait for me. Xu Feifei tried to chase after him, but the waiter stopped her. Why are you stopping me? That guy is my boyfriend. Xu Feifei glared angrily at the waiter, her tone hostile. The waiter sneered. Then just call your boyfriend and tell him to pay your share. Xu Feifei was so angry her chest heaved, but she didn't dare mess with this tough waiter. She turned and glared at Zhao Xiao. What are you standing there for? Hurry up and pay. I don't have that much money. Losing face in front of his crush, Zhao Xiao wished he could kill Lin Shi. Having worked for less than a year, his savings were barely 4 figures. How could he afford 28,000? Lin Shi guessed right. It was precisely because he saw Lin Shi spend 180,000 in a few minutes yesterday that Zhao Xiao was driven mad with jealousy, which was why he thought of calling Lin Shi out today to torture him a bit. Zhao Xiao knew Lin Shi would definitely pay, and he wouldn't be able to abandon his good friends. Even if it hurt, he'd have to bear it. It was clearly like this before, so why was it completely different today? Zhao Xiao called Lin Shi. Lin Shi walked out of the club, looking relaxed, and hung up. He blocked their numbers. Then he went home. Zhao Xiao called again, but was hung up on. He called one more time, but couldn't get through. Only then did he truly believe that Lin Shi would no longer care about them. Facing the waiter and the club's security guards, Zhao Xiao whispered, let's split it. Huang Miao and Xu Feifei naturally refused. The two of them, one just starting work and the other still a student, had no money. Going to the club was Zhao Xiao's idea, and he was the one who said he'd treat. The three of them argued loudly. Finally, the club called the police. Only then did the three of them call home to ask for money to pay the debt. In the end, Zhao Xiao helped Xu Feifei pay a portion, paying a total of 16,000. Huang Miao paid 9,000, and Xu Feifei paid 3,000. Leaving Huaqiao Club, the three parted ways unhappily, because it cost nearly 10,000, plus Zhao Xiao prioritizing girls over bros. Huang Miao and Zhao Xiao almost fell out. Xu Feifei didn't give Zhao Xiao a good look either, and blocked his number as soon as she got home. Just one gathering, and not only did he lose his best friend, but his crush also kicked him out of her life. Zhao Xiao hated Lin Shi to death in his heart, but when he got home, not only was he not comforted, he was scolded harshly by his father. His father scolded him for being ignorant. The family was preparing to buy a house and planned to borrow money from Lin Shi, yet he caused trouble. He ordered him to go apologize to Lin Shi immediately. Father Zhao thought Zhao Xiao must have been too obvious in his attempt to mess with Lin Shi, which offended him. Lin Shi didn't know any of this. Even if he did, he wouldn't care. The next day, Lin Shi still woke up early to train. After breakfast, he received a call from a real estate agent. The agent was a young woman named Chen Qingqing. Mr. Lin, I have a client who wants to see the house. When are you available? So fast? Lin Shi was a bit surprised. I'm free right now. You can bring the client over. 10 minutes later, Lin Shi heard the doorbell ring. Opening the door, a middle-aged man in a coat walked in, accompanied by the beautiful young agent, Chen Qingqing. Chen Qingqing began to thoroughly introduce the apartment's advantages. Lin Shi stood to the side. He'd leave the house selling to the agent. He just had to wait to collect the money. After seeing the apartment, the middle-aged man generously put down a deposit to buy it immediately.
Chen Qingqing quoted a price of 9.45 million. Lin Shi was slightly surprised. It was much faster than expected. When the two left, seeing the man reach out to shake Chen Qingqing's hand, Lin Shi immediately understood what was going on. Not long after they left, Chen Qingqing returned. Mr. Lin, I've negotiated with the client. We'll do the title transfer tomorrow. Please prepare your documents in advance. This was a huge transaction. To avoid any complications, Chen Qingqing had used all her tricks. Although surprised by this woman's methods, Lin Shi was very satisfied with the result. The faster the house sold, the sooner he could start his next plan. Chen Qingqing began listing the details of the documents needed for the transfer. As she spoke, Chen Qingqing slowly leaned closer. Lin Shi took a few steps back, looking at Chen Qingqing with cold eyes. Chen Qingqing was 25 or 26, in the prime of her youth, and not bad-looking. But he had no feelings for a manipulative woman like her. Being stared at by Lin Shi, Chen Qingqing felt a chill run down her spine. She had never seen such cold eyes on a young man, but thinking of the massive commission, Chen Qingqing still put on her brightest smile. Mr. Lin, you said you'd pay a commission for anything over 9 million. I keep my promises. Once the transaction is complete, I'll transfer the money to you. I have things to do, so I won't see you out, Miss Chen. Making 450,000 from one transaction was her own ability. Lin Shi naturally wouldn't go back on his word. With that money, he could start his next plan. Hearing this, Chen Qingqing breathed a sigh of relief and took her leave. Lin Shi also prepared to head out. Today he had an appointment to sign the warehouse lease. He inspected the warehouse and was very satisfied. Before renting, he had stated a few requirements. Few people around, a secluded location, and the inside shouldn't be visible from the outside. The agent was very attentive and had found a warehouse that met Lin Shi's requirements and checked it out beforehand. The contract signing went very smoothly. Tomorrow, after the house was sold, Lin Shi could move his things to the warehouse. As he was leaving, Lin Shi called the agent back. This agent was a man in his 30s named Liao Peng. Lin Shi found this person to be very careful and steady in his work. There were less than 3 months until the apocalypse. He needed to stockpile a lot of supplies and upgrade the treasure bowl. This couldn't be done in a few days. Building a shelter took a lot of time and effort. He needed someone to help. Liao Peng, do you want to work for me? I'll pay you 500,000 a year. Lin Shi made an attractive offer. Liao Peng was stunned. 500,000 a year, that was much higher than his 200,000 to 300,000 salary at the real estate agency. But he was still suspicious, wondering if Lin Shi was joking. He asked cautiously, what do you need me to do? If it was illegal, he wouldn't do it. Lin Shi organized his words. I'm a doomsday survival enthusiast. I want to build an independent shelter in Shea City. But I'm stuck in High City and can't be in 2 places at once, so I need someone to help. A doomsday survival enthusiast? A shelter? Even a calm person like Liao Peng was startled, a look of disbelief flashing in his eyes. Young man, are you kidding me? If this young man hadn't just handed him a signed contract, Liao Peng would have thought it was a scam and walked away. Lin Shi also knew his words sounded a bit unusual, so he gestured for Liao Peng to take out his phone, scan his QR code, and transferred 100,000 to him. This is 2 months' salary. This time, Liao Peng believed Lin Shi. Who would joke around with such a large sum of money? However, to be safe, he still requested to sign an employment contract with Lin Shi. Lin Shi had the same intention. The shelter would be his survival base in the future. He couldn't just rely on a few words to make Liao Peng work wholeheartedly for him. After discussing the details of the contract thoroughly, the two signed it. The content of the contract was basically that Lin Shi would pay an annual salary of 500,000 to hire Liao Peng as his private manager. Liao Peng would be responsible for handling the construction, supervision, and inspection of the new house in Shaw City, along with some other miscellaneous tasks for Lin Shi. Lin Shi promised to guarantee Liao Peng's salary and other benefits. Because Lin Shi was in a hurry, Liao Peng readily resigned and took the job. With this job, as long as he worked for a few years, he could buy a house in the suburbs of High City, which was many times better than being a real estate agent. He secretly resolved to do a good job so Boss Lin could see his capabilities. But he didn't know this job would only last 3 months. Lin Shi had no intention of hiring him long-term. Once the shelter was completed, Liao Peng's job would be over. Lin Shi directly gave an order. Liao Peng, go to Shaw City and find me a piece of land for sale. Lin Shi's requirements were high and dry terrain, flat, no high-rises around, a quiet location, a large area, and ready for immediate construction. This was Liao Peng's old profession, so it wasn't difficult. Yes, boss. Liao Peng quickly got into character and immediately booked the earliest flight. Sha City, in Nan Province, was a famous tourist destination and the city closest to the equator. It had no winter all year round. After the apocalyptic ice age hit, humanity's living space shrank drastically. The north was too cold, unsuitable for human habitation. Even though houses in the north were better insulated than in the south, the gas pipelines in the north quickly froze and burst. Without a heating source, outdoor temperatures dropped to -70 degrees. The food supply almost collapsed, forcing northerners to migrate south, and that was just the situation in summer. Only a few areas with national grain reserves could barely survive and establish shelters for survivors. Although the equator couldn't escape the ice age either, at least the temperature was 30 to 40 degrees higher than in the north. The average temperature was only around -20 to -30 degrees. Furthermore, Sha City was a coastal city. They could mine ice and catch frozen fish. The food supply wasn't as scarce as in the north. Lin Shi, preparing early in this life, wasn't for government supplies. After having a space that could carry a massive amount of supplies, safety became Lin Shi's top priority. In the apocalypse, the most terrifying thing wasn't the extreme weather, but people. Under freezing weather and starvation, people would use any means necessary to rob. Murder, robbery, and cannibalism were common. No city had stable order. Sha City had the largest official shelter in Xia Nation. Most high-ranking officials, scientists, and the military were concentrated there. The order there was naturally much better than elsewhere. Moreover, in his past life, he heard that Sha City had developed a type of food that could be grown in freezing conditions. In this life, he wanted to do his best and build his shelter in Sha City. After instructing Liao Peng on some points to note when building the shelter, Lin Shi returned home. Early the next morning, after finishing his morning workout, Lin Shi packed all the movable items into his spatial dimension. Whatever he didn't want, he threw downstairs. Before leaving, Lin Shi glanced at the empty apartment, turned, and left without any lingering attachment. It was just a house. To him, anywhere could be home. Lin Shi didn't know that. Not long after he left the house, Zhao Xiao came looking for him. And because he couldn't find Lin Shi, he was scolded harshly by his parents a few days later. Lin Shi completed the house transfer procedures as scheduled. After receiving the money, he paid Chen Qingqing 450,000, then went to the bank. Xia Nation Bank, the largest bank in Hai City, located in the city center. Because he needed a large amount of gold and was afraid the bank wouldn't have enough, Lin Shi had called the account manager yesterday to make an appointment after confirming he could transfer the house today. By the time he arrived at the bank, it was already afternoon. On the way, he conveniently bought a suitcase to hold the gold. Currently, Lin Shi had 25.4 million in savings. This included his original savings plus the money from selling the 3 gold bars, minus the warehouse rent and other small expenses for Liao Peng, leaving 15.4 million. The house sale brought in 9 million, and he borrowed 1 million from online loan apps. If it weren't for the limit of 1 million per person across different legitimate platforms, Lin Shi would have borrowed even more. In total, Lin Shi had 25.4 million, enough to buy 60 kilograms of gold. According to the rules of the treasure bowl, every time it upgraded, the required wealth points doubled. 60 kilograms of gold could upgrade the space 4 times, then upgrade the item duplication ability twice. Just upgrading the space 5 times, or the duplication ability 3 times, wouldn't be enough. Currently, the space was 6 by 6 by 6, which is 216 cubic meters. Upgrading it 4 times was enough. Lin Shi wanted to see how this item duplication ability would change after upgrading. The bank was quite crowded. Lin Shi walking in with a suitcase was very noticeable. A bank employee immediately came over and asked, "How can I help you, sir?" Lin Shi said, "I'm here to buy gold. I made an appointment yesterday." "Which manager did you contact?" "Manager Chu." Lin Shi was quickly led to an office. Chu Xiaodi was an account manager at the Hai City branch of Xia Nation Bank. Yesterday, a client with tens of millions in deposits called her, saying he wanted to buy 60 kilograms of gold at the bank. Chu Xiaodi was very surprised. What was the concept of 60 kilograms of gold? These days, even though the global gold price had risen a few points, each gram was still at 413 RMB. Plus the bank's minimum service fee of 5 RMB. 60 kilograms of gold was nearly 25.08 million. Normally, wealthy investors bought paper gold, gold stocks, or spot gold. Very few people bought this much physical gold. Moreover, the situation had been unstable in recent years, and gold prices were always high. Buying a lot of physical gold could easily lead to losses. Curious, Chu Xiaodie looked up the client's information. The information showed this person was named Lin Shi, only 19 years old. She had a pretty clear impression of this young man. 3 years ago, at the largest new energy company in High City, Tiankai New Energy Coty, Ltd., an electronics engineer died in a workplace accident. Tiankai New Energy Commodities Ltd. paid 10 million in compensation. It was widely praised at the time. Not long after, the electronics engineer's son came to collect the compensation, and Chu Xiaodi was the one who handled the paperwork for him. Chu Xiaodi remembered clearly that the boy's name was Lin Shi. Chu Xiaodi checked the bank's gold vault, confirmed there was enough gold, and informed Lin Shi that he could come do the paperwork anytime. She waited since morning, occasionally looking toward the door. After waiting half the day without seeing anyone, she was about to take a break when a knock came at the door. "Manager, the client buying gold is here." Lin Shi waited in the lobby for a while before a woman who still had her charm, wearing a uniform, walked out. He glanced at the name tag on the woman's chest. "Account manager, Chu Xiaodi. Are you Mr. Lin?" Chu Xiaodi smiled and said politely, "Please follow me." Lin Shi nodded and followed Chu Xiaodi to the VIP counter. Chu Xiaodi explained the process of buying gold bars to Lin Shi. Buying gold bars didn't have much of a price difference compared to the market price, only about 10,000 or so, which could be considered a loss. Because when buying, you also had to add processing fees and service fees. But since Lin Shi wasn't buying gold for investment, losing 10,000 or so wasn't an issue for him. "I understand. Let's do the paperwork now. Choosing the type of gold, opening an account, filling out forms." Except for the account manager's gaze, which made Lin Shi a bit uncomfortable, everything else went very smoothly. With 25.4 million, calculated at the current international gold price of 412 RMB/gram, minus processing and service fees, Lin Shi could buy 61,000-gram gold bars. This was Lin Shi's choice. Since he planned to resell them anyway, he didn't care about the design. 1,000 grams per bar was also more convenient for upgrading. Just 2 bars were enough to upgrade the storage space to the next level. After buying the gold, he could choose to store it in the bank or take it home. Naturally, Lin Shi chose to take it home. Chu Xiaodi took 60 gold bars out of the safe. As she placed them on the counter one by one, her gaze toward Lin, she couldn't help but grow heated. Being able to invest so much in gold, Lin Shi was definitely a major client. Thinking about how completing this transaction would earn her a commission equivalent to 2 months' salary, Chu Xiaodi found this young client increasingly pleasing to the eye. Lin Shi looked away. Wait until tomorrow when he brought the fake gold bars back. This woman would probably want to eat him alive. Sweeping his gaze across the bank lobby, Lin Shi's eyes suddenly paused. He noticed someone unusual in the crowd. Observing closely, he realized it wasn't just one person, but 4. These 4 were dressed ordinarily, scattered casually in different spots in the bank, pretending to line up. Even the bank security guards hadn't noticed anything unusual. But Lin Shi was a survivor of the apocalypse. In 8 years of the apocalypse, he had met many evil people and killed countless others. With just a glance, he recognized the killing intent radiating from these 4. This was still peacetime. How could ordinary people have killing intent? Could it be he ran into a bank robbery right after arriving? Lin Shi secretly recalled the news from his past life. Was there any news of a bank robbery in Hay City? But he couldn't remember. Could his return have created a butterfly effect? As if sensing Lin Shi's gaze, one of the 4 turned his head. Lin Shi immediately looked away. High City was one of the safest cities in Xia Nation, yet someone dared to rob a bank here. This group of people was either driven to a dead end, vicious and brutal, or they had a screw loose. Judging by the killing intent of the 4, Lin Shi was certain it was the former. Right now, Lin Shi was sitting at the VIP counter, a few meters away from the regular counters, with a partition blocking the view. Others couldn't see the situation at his counter. Lin Shi hurriedly whispered to Chu Xiaodi, who was still counting the gold, "Wait, I'm not buying today." These 4 people had arrived at some unknown time. Earlier, he had brought a very conspicuous suitcase and was sitting at the VIP counter. He had very likely been targeted. "This is my entire fortune and my life. If I get robbed, I'll have nowhere to cry." "What?" Chu Xiaodi thought she misheard. "I said, I'm not buying. I'll come back another day," Lin Shi whispered. "I suspect someone is planning to rob the bank." But hearing Lin Shi say he wasn't buying, Chu Xiaodi immediately thought he was messing with her. After all this time, the gold bars were already taken out, and now he said he wasn't buying? Wouldn't she lose her commission? As for Lin Shi saying someone was robbing the bank, that was a complete joke. This was Xia Nation Bank. No one had ever dared to rob this place. Chu Xiaodi was very angry, and her voice grew louder. "Sir, your transaction has already been successful, and the money has been deducted. If you want to cancel the transaction," Lin Shi interrupted Chu Xiaodi. Right now, he only hoped this female account manager would quickly take back the gold bars. Chu Xiaodi was so angry, her face turned pale. She didn't take back the gold bars, but wanted to continue arguing with Lin Shi. Mr. Lin, these gold bars already belong to you. If you cancel the transaction, it's equivalent to putting the gold bars back into the buying and selling process. You will lose the processing and service fees. Lin Shi glanced over and saw one of the 4 men approaching him. The man was about 30 years old, wearing comfortable black clothes with a shaved head and ordinary features. But looking closely at his eyes, one could see a vicious glint. He was someone who had killed, someone who had seen blood. Chu Xiaodi was still nagging and reasoning with Lin Shi. The shiny gold bars on the counter hadn't been noticed by anyone yet, but when that guy got closer, he would definitely see them. Lin Shi cursed his bad luck inwardly. This woman was so thoughtless. Lin Shi lowered his voice. Hurry up and take back the gold bars. If they get robbed, you'll bear the responsibility. Seeing Lin Shi being difficult, Chu Xiaodi's chest heaved with anger. Mr. Lin, the gold bars are still on my counter. If they get robbed, I'll take responsibility. Don't you worry. Lin Shi changed his tone. You mean, if they get robbed now, it has nothing to do with me? At this moment, a security guard also noticed something was wrong and walked over. The VIP window usually handled large transactions. Seeing someone suddenly approaching, the security guard immediately became alert. He stepped in front of the bald man, blocking his path. Hello, sir. There's a transaction going on over there. Please line up in the back. The bald man looked apologetic and seemed about to bow his head in apology. Lin Shi's pupils suddenly shrank. A black handgun was swiftly pulled from the bald man's pocket and pressed against the security guard's stomach. With a bang, a gunshot rang out. The security guard fell to the ground in disbelief, fresh blood pouring continuously from his stomach, staining his clean uniform red. A second later, the other 3 thugs also pulled out handguns, each pressing their gun against another security guard who was pulling out a stun baton. Gunshots and piercing screams echoed throughout the large lobby. Immediately after came the blaring alarm. A bank employee sitting at a counter immediately pressed the alarm button. Lin Shi's eyes met the bald man's. Seeing the greed and killing intent in the bald man's eyes, Lin Shi immediately squatted on the ground, holding his head with both hands. He hid in the corner. If you asked him what to do when facing danger, Lin Shi would decisively say, if you can win, fight. If you can't win, run. If you can't run, endure. They had 4 guns. He was unarmed. Standing out would be suicide. Wasn't it better to stay alive? Lin Shi squatted quietly in the corner of the room. The other people in the lobby had already been subdued by the robbers. These 4 robbers were clearly well prepared, with clear divisions of labor. One kept watch outside, one guarded the hostages, and the one holding the bag was approaching the buzz-cut man. Inside the counter, Chu Xiaodi was pale with fear. Someone actually dared to rob a bank in Xia Nation. She finally understood that Lin Shi was telling the truth, but it was too late. The buzz-cut man walked up to the counter, pointed his gun at the bulletproof glass behind Chu Xiaodi, and roared, "Hand over the gold bars." "Hurry up!" Chu Xiaodi didn't obey. Instead, she gathered the gold bars, intending to lock them in the safe. Although terrified, they were well trained. Bulletproof glass couldn't be pierced by ordinary handguns. This was the city center. The bank had an alarm system connected directly to the nearest police station. In less than 10 minutes, the police would arrive. But there were other bank employees outside the counter. A robber immediately pressed his gun against an employee's head. The employee was so scared he wet his pants. "Hurry up and take out the gold bars for every 10 seconds you delay. I'll kill 1 person." Chu Xiaodi had no choice but to comply. Lin Shi remained quietly in the corner, observing. He noticed that none of the robbers took any cash. The goal of these 4 was very clear. They only wanted gold. That's right. Any robber with half a brain wouldn't bother robbing cash from a bank. Banknotes all had serial numbers. Even if they took them, they couldn't use them. But gold was different. Once melted down, it could circulate on the market. But there was a suspicious point. The gold on the counter was limited. Large amounts of gold bars were kept in the vault. If they couldn't rob a lot of gold, the risks and rewards of a bank robbery wouldn't match up. How did the robbers know there would be so much gold at the bank counter today? Even Lin Shi, using 25 million to buy gold, wasn't considered a massive amount. Lin Shi watched Chu Xiaodi trembling as she handed the gold to the robbers, and a thought flashed through his mind. Someone had leaked the information that he was coming to the bank to buy a large amount of gold bars. Thinking of this, everything became clear. The buzz-cut man had seen the gold bars on the counter, which was why he shot the security guard who noticed the anomaly. They were waiting for this gold to appear. Lin Shi felt a chill down his spine, his eyes turning terrifyingly cold. Good thing he hadn't taken the gold yet. Thanks to the security guard noticing the anomaly, he escaped death. Otherwise, if he had waited until he put the gold in his suitcase, he wouldn't have made it out of here alive. The 60 gold bars were quickly handed over by Chu Xiaodi. The robbers stuffed them into their bags. The gold bars looked small, but they weighed 120 caddies. The robbers struggled a bit to carry them. At this moment, the buzz-cut man saw the suitcase on the counter. Lin Shi cursed inwardly. Sure enough, the buzz-cut man noticed Lin Shi. To hide the gold, Lin Shi had bought a black, compact suitcase with a combination lock. The buzz-cut man ordered fiercely, "Come here, open the suitcase." Lin Shi feigned fear and obediently opened the suitcase. The robbers put the bags of gold into the suitcase. Throughout the process, Lin Shi intently observed their actions. 25 million worth of gold, all neatly packed into the small suitcase. If I use my space to store this gold right now? No. Lin Shi immediately dismissed the thought. The bank's surveillance system was still working normally. A suitcase suddenly disappearing in front of everyone would be too easily discovered. 25 million worth of gold vanishing without a trace would definitely be investigated to the end. If the treasure bowl was exposed, the loss would outweigh the gain. The sound of police sirens could already be faintly heard from afar. The robbers didn't act slowly, but the Xia Nation police were even faster. Hearing the sirens, the robbers clearly panicked and immediately prepared to flee. Before leaving, the buzz-cut man glanced at Lin Shi, then suddenly reached out and grabbed him. Lin Shi instinctively wanted to dodge and fight back, but suddenly thought of something and tried to suppress his instincts. "Don't move." The buzz-cut man grabbed Lin Shi tightly, pressing the gun against his back. Lin Shi obediently followed the robbers out of the bank. Outside, a getaway car was already waiting. Lin Shi was shoved roughly into the car. It turned out there were 5 robbers in total. It was an SUV. 4 large men sat in the cramped back seat, but no one complained. They all accepted the buzz-cut man bringing Lin Shi into the car. Just as Lin Shi was forced into the car, a reporter working nearby ran over and recorded the scene of Lin Shi being taken hostage. Xia Nation Bank in High City robbed an unfortunate young man taken hostage through short videos. This news quickly shot to the top of the trending list. Millions of netizens watched the video of Lin Shi being forced into the car. "Oh my god, they actually dared to rob a bank, so gutsy. I bet these robbers won't get away. These robbers even have guns. I bet half a month's salary. I trust the strength of our national security forces. That guy who got taken hostage must be in a lot of danger." The hostage looks like my high school classmate. The hostage is Lin Shi, my college classmate. Holy crap, oh my god, my high school classmate is also named Lin Shi. Very quickly, people discovered that their acquaintance and this Lin Shi were the same person, and so, another short video was born. Top student with a score of 685 taken hostage in bank robbery, fate unknown. This short video was also pushed to the top of the trending list. The video even included a clear photo of Lin Shi's face. Looking at Lin Shi's handsome but slightly youthful face in the photo, countless aunties and young women worriedly prayed for him, hoping the authorities would successfully rescue the hostage. Lin Shi's college classmate, who posted the video, gained millions of followers because of it. Lin Shi still didn't know he had become famous. The car had only been driving for a while when the police sirens behind them drew closer and closer. The 5 people in the car were clearly breathing heavier. One of them muttered something in a foreign language. Only then did Lin Shi realize that these 5 might not all be from Xia Nation. At this moment, the suitcase of gold was placed at the feet of one of the robbers, who was stepping on it. Lin Shi could touch it just by stretching his leg. As long as he reached out and touched the suitcase, he could transfer its contents into his space. That's right. Lin Shi was targeting this suitcase of gold. The gold was robbed right at the counter, never having passed through his hands, so the bank would be responsible for compensation. He would still receive 60 kilograms of gold bars from the bank. If he stored the robbed gold in his space, whether the robbers escaped or not, they would still be blamed for the missing gold. That way, he would have 120 kilograms of gold. Duplicating it would make it 240 kilograms. 120 kilograms of gold was enough to upgrade the treasure bowl. Doubling his original plan. Wealth is found in danger. These 5 robbers were the insurance for his safety. Right now, Lin Shi was sitting between 3 robbers in the back, very close to the suitcase. But turning around to touch the suitcase would be too obvious. He was waiting for an opportunity. The SUV driver was very skilled, speeding at about 80 km/h, weaving through traffic, narrowly avoiding collisions several times, leaving the police cars far behind. But the robbers quickly realized there were 2 helicopters tailing them. Lin Shi heard the leader curse in an international expletive. Not long after, a roadblock appeared ahead. Those sharp spikes could not be broken through even by an SUV. A SWAT team was already on standby behind the roadblock. The piercing sound of sudden braking rang out. Everyone in the car lurched forward. Lin Shi's eyes flashed. The opportunity had arrived just as everyone lost their balance, focusing on the roadblock and the SWAT team ahead. Lin Shi quickly turned, grabbed the suitcase, and immediately sat back up straight. None of the robbers noticed anything unusual. They had no idea that the gold they had risked their lives to rob had vanished. It had all been stored in Lin Shi's spatial dimension. Next, he needed to find a way to escape. The SUV revved its engine, turned around, and fled, turning onto a small road. The helicopters pursued. From one of the helicopters, the camera pointed straight at the SUV. The SUV seemed to drive around in circles for a while, and after more than 10 minutes, an overpass appeared. Cars were passing under the bridge, but Lin Shi tensed up. Under the bridge, an ordinary black sedan was parked. Lin Shi immediately noticed the anomaly. Normally, no matter how much of a hurry someone was in, they would park on the side of the road outside the overpass, not under it. And the area under the bridge was in the blind spot of the helicopter's camera. It was very likely this was the escape plan the robbers had prepared in advance. If the robbers switched cars, they would discover the gold in the suitcase was gone. Then he would be in a passive position. The facts proved Lin Shi's judgment was correct. As soon as the SUV went under the overpass, it braked hard. If they weren't switching cars, and there were no cars ahead, there was absolutely no need to brake so hard. The moment the car braked, Lin Shi, sitting between two robbers, suddenly snatched their guns. Before the two robbers could react, their guns had vanished. They were stunned. In a split second, the robbers' guns were in Lin Shi's hands. He aimed straight at the third robber in the back and fired a shot into his head. Then, two more shots took down the two unarmed robbers in the back. The distance was so close that Lin Shi didn't even need to aim. Hearing the gunshots, the leader instinctively turned around, his body leaning forward due to momentum. Before he could react, the gun barrel was pressed against his head. The leader's eyes widened. He never expected that a weak, rich kid they thought was just a hostage could snatch his accomplice's guns. His movements were practiced, his shooting fast, accurate, and ruthless, completely contrasting with his youthful appearance. The buzz-cut man opened his mouth to say something, but Lin Shi had already pulled the trigger. Everything happened too fast. In the blink of an eye, the driver, whose hands were still on the steering wheel, noticed the anomaly. He hurriedly drew the gun at his waist, but before he could take off the safety, he was shot. All 5 robbers died on the spot. This SUV had bulletproof glass, so the gunshots didn't affect the other cars. After shooting the driver, Lin Shi quickly got out of the car, avoided the gaze of people around, and stored the car, along with the robbers' bodies, into his spatial dimension. Then he quickly went to the black sedan, opened the door, and got in. The car wasn't locked, and the keys were still inside. Lin Shi stepped on the gas. The car sped off. More than 10 minutes later, confirming there were no helicopters tailing him, Lin Shi drove to a deserted mountainous area. Checking again to ensure there were no surveillance cameras around, he stored the black sedan into his space, then took out the SUV and began collecting his spoils. On the 5 robbers, there were 5 handguns and 10 magazines. Lin Shi took 1 gun and quickly replaced the empty magazine. He had handled guns in his past life, but Xia Nation's laws strictly controlled firearms, making them very difficult to possess. Firearms, both before and after the apocalypse, were incredibly precious resources. Taking this risk, besides the gold bars, the handguns were also his target. With a handgun, his survival chances in the early stages of the apocalypse would significantly increase. Lin Shi searched the car further, finding some cash and 2 daggers. He gathered all of these along with the gold bars. Although this trip to the bank to buy gold had some unexpected events, the results far exceeded his expectations. Confirming he hadn't missed anything, Lin Shi stored the SUV back into his space. Before the apocalypse arrived, he would conveniently throw their bodies into the sea, letting them be permanently frozen under thick ice where no one would ever find them. After handling everything, Lin Shi walked for a bit and called a car to the police station. On the other side, police cars chased to the overpass where the SUV disappeared, but found no one. The robbers in the SUV seemed to have evaporated. The surveillance cameras under the bridge had been destroyed by the robbers beforehand. The police had no choice but to retreat. Half an hour later, at the Central City Police Station, "You're saying they drove up the mountain and let you go? Then where did they drive off to? Do you remember the license plate? Did you see which direction they went?" The police officers fired off questions one after another. The robbery of Xia Nation Bank involving 25 million in gold bars and a hostage had attracted nationwide attention. Now, although the hostage was safe, the robbers and the gold were missing, giving the city's police chiefs a massive headache. Facing the police's questions, Lin Shi answered truthfully what he could. For what he didn't know, he played innocent, saying he wasn't sure or didn't notice. The robbers in the car had vanished. The more he made up, the more loopholes there would be. Lin Shi just needed to play dumb. He was a hostage, not a suspect. There was no need to fabricate a perfect story. Officer, can I get my gold back? If I can't, will the bank compensate me? At the end of the interrogation, Lin Shi expressed concern about his gold. Just as the officer was about to speak, Chu Xiaodi and a middle-aged man in a suit and leather shoes hurried into the police station. As soon as the middle-aged man entered, he asked, "Has the hostage been found? Where is he? Where's the gold?" The officer said to Lin Shi, "The bank people are here. That older man is the vice president of the bank. You can talk to him directly." Shortly after, the vice president of Xia Nation Bank, Li Changbin, sat down opposite Lin Shi. The officer had left, leaving only Lin Shi, Chu Xiaodi, and Li Changbin in the room. "You're the hostage, right? You're back. Where's the gold?" Li Changbin's questioning tone made Lin Shi slightly annoyed, but he didn't show it. "You can ask the police those questions. I want to ask, when are you guys going to give me my gold?" Li Changbin frowned and glanced at Chu Xiaodi. Chu Xiaodi handed a document to Lin Shi and said, "Mr. Lin, your gold was taken by the robbers. If it can't be recovered, our bank is willing to compensate you for 50% of the loss. Just sign this document." 50%? Lin Shi turned to look at Chu Xiaodi, sneering. "Didn't you say that if it got robbed, it would be considered your bank's responsibility?" Chu Xiaodi avoided his gaze, but remembering the vice president's instructions before coming, she still put on a righteous front. "The loss of the gold was caused by a third party. Our bank's security guards, 4 died and 2 were severely injured in this incident. They fulfilled their duties. We are also very sorry this happened. If the gold is recovered, we will definitely return it all to you." Lin Shi glanced at the document Chu Xiaodi handed him, densely packed with professional jargon. In short, if the gold wasn't recovered, the bank would compensate Lin Shi half the amount, and Lin Shi would waive his right to sue the bank. Lin Shi almost laughed out loud, speaking as if they were thinking of him, treating him like a 3-year-old. Lin Shi looked at the vice president, who had a calm expression, as if compensating half was already very benevolent. "I remember that gold was robbed right at the counter. The gold wasn't handed over to me, which means the transaction between the bank and me wasn't completed. The bank losing the gold has nothing to do with me." Li Changbin was slightly surprised to see a 19-year-old like Lin Shi remain so calm after experiencing a robbery. He said softly, "Lin Shi, the loss of the gold isn't entirely our bank's responsibility. How about this? We'll compensate you 60%. Additionally, I know a professor at your university. I can get you a research scholarship. How does that sound?" "No need," Lin Shi flatly refused. Seeing Lin Shi being difficult, Li Changbin frowned, his tone turning hostile. "Young people shouldn't be too greedy. I heard you have no elders at home. You're all alone. You're still young, haven't stepped into society, and don't understand that young people nowadays need to know how to compromise. Otherwise, if you offend people you shouldn't, it will affect your future." "Ha ha, are you threatening me?" A cold glint flashed in Lin Shi's eyes. Chu Xiaodi interjected, "Mr. Lin, we came here to negotiate compensation in good faith. But we'd like to know, how did you know they were going to rob the bank? The robbers were so vicious, yet they let you go. Do you know those robbers? Are you trying to say I'm in cahoots with the robbers?" Lin Shi laughed. Since both sides understood each other's intentions, Lin Shi didn't want to waste words. He stood up and walked out. "You two can help the police find evidence. I won't bother you anymore. I'll use legal channels to get my things back. I'll sue the bank. The chances of winning are very high, but it will take a lot of time. However, the gold bars are already in my hands, so I'm not losing anything anyway. As for that vice president's threat, ha ha, I hope he's still alive in 3 months to talk to me." A murderous glint flashed in Lin Shi's eyes. Just then, his phone rang. It was an unknown number. Thinking it was spam, Lin Shi put it on silent, but it kept ringing. A female voice came through. "Hello, is this Mr. Lin Shi? I'm a reporter from the city's Morning Post. I'd like to interview you about some important matters. Do you have time?" Lin Shi was surprised. Why would a reporter want to interview him? He was about to refuse when another call came in. Still an unknown number. "Sorry, I have to take this call first." Lin Shi hung up and answered the second call. "Hello, Mr. Lin Shi? We are from local TV and we'd like to." Before she could finish, another call came in. Lin Shi hung up in confusion and answered the next call. "Hello, is this Mr. Lin Shi? I'm a reporter from Xia Nation Central Television." A reporter from Central Television calling him? Lin Shi frowned, didn't hang up, and started talking to the Central TV reporter. "I'm Lin Shi. What's the matter?" "Mr. Lin, do you have time for an interview? Many netizens are very curious about how you escaped from the robbers." Lin Shi hesitated. He didn't want to be famous. Netizens in the 21st century were terrifying. If his little secrets were exposed, he'd be done for. Even though killing the robbers was justifiable self-defense, swallowing the gold bars was a fact. Glancing over, he saw Chu Xiaodi and the vice president staring at him. The two looked nervous. The refusal was on the tip of his tongue, but he suddenly agreed. Sure. After setting a time and place, Lin Shi hung up and walked out. Li Changbin was furious inwardly. He had planned to strike before the reporters arrived, but he didn't expect Lin Shi to be so tough. Wait, let's keep talking. Chu Xiaodi grabbed Lin Shi's arm, but he dodged it. Lin Shi turned to look at Chu Xiaodi, frowned, and seemed to remember something. He said, "Oh right, I provided the police with a clue regarding the robber's motive." "What clue?" Chu Xiaodi asked instinctively. "When I was taken hostage, I heard the robbers say a bank employee leaked the information about me buying gold, which is why they targeted those gold bars." Actually, Lin Shi made this up. He didn't understand the robbers' conversation at all, but he wanted to trick this woman. If someone leaked the information, the woman in front of him was the most suspicious. Chu Xiaodi's heart pounded, her face turning pale. Seeing the growing panic on Chu Xiaodi's face, Lin Shi, who was only 50% sure before, was now 100% sure. Tisk, 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 causing the deaths of 4 security guards and costing the bank over 20 million. The person who leaked the information would probably spend a few years in prison. Seeing Chu Xiaodi looking dazed and haggard, Lin Shi sneered and turned to leave. No wonder there was no bank robbery in his past life. It really was the butterfly effect caused by his rebirth and going to the bank to buy gold. Li Changbin stared wide-eyed at Lin Shi's retreating back. Stop. But seeing Lin Shi walking away without stopping, Li Changbin grabbed Chu Xiaodi's arm tightly. What's going on? If the bank wasn't fully responsible, he wouldn't have come here to negotiate with Lin Shi. He didn't expect that even the robbers were brought in by their own people. Then what was there left to negotiate? It wasn't me, Chu Xiaodi said hurriedly. Li Changbin looked at Chu Xiaodi's guilty expression and immediately understood. Lin Shi said the person who leaked the information was Chu Xiaodi. Damn it. Now that Lin Shi had contacted the TV station, he had to settle this before everything was exposed. Li Changbin didn't spare Chu Xiaodi. Another glance, and walked away, leaving Chu Xiaodi slumped on the ground, constantly muttering, it wasn't me yesterday. Upon receiving Lin Shi's call wanting to buy 25 million in gold, Chu Xiaodi was overjoyed. That night, while having dinner with her boyfriend at a restaurant to show off, Chu Xiaodi mentioned a client wanting to buy 25 million in gold. Previously, when clients deposited large sums, she would also brag to her boyfriend, but she never revealed the client's name. That didn't count as leaking client information, right? How did it attract the robbers? It was just a coincidence. At that time, Chu Xiaodi was eating at the restaurant. Sitting behind her were 2 of those robbers. Walk in the dark often enough, and you'll eventually meet a ghost. By the time Lin Shi left the police station, it was already dusk. Finding his car, he drove to the warehouse he rented. Not long after, Lin Shi received a few more calls. This time, it was advertising partners calling. Checking his phone, Lin Shi realized he was famous. There were also many messages from college, high school, and even elementary school classmates he rarely contacted. Lin Shi deleted all the messages. He didn't want to be famous. If he didn't know the apocalypse was coming in 3 months, he might have taken advantage of this wave of popularity to make some short videos and take on ads to earn some money. But before the apocalypse arrived, he didn't have the time or energy to do these things. Netizens nowadays were terrifying. If they found any clues, he'd be done for. After casually cleaning up the room in the warehouse and eating some bread from his space, Lin Shi lay down to sleep. After a day of battling wits and courage, he fell asleep as soon as he lay down. Waking up early the next morning, Lin Shi felt refreshed. After finishing his morning workout, Lin Shi went out for breakfast and received a call from the bank. Hello, Mr. Lin. Your gold purchase transaction yesterday wasn't completed. May I ask when you have time to come pick up the gold? Lin Shi frowned. So fast? He originally wanted to use Chu Xiaodi's situation and his current popularity to create a wave of public opinion, forcing the bank to quickly complete the transaction with him. He didn't expect the bank to react even faster. Lin Shi replied, in 30 minutes. After breakfast, Lin Shi went to the bank. He thought he'd have to argue with the bank a bit, but everything went incredibly smoothly. The bank president personally received him, sincerely apologized, and handed the gold bars to him himself. They even gave him a few gifts, calling it compensation for mental distress. Lin Shi didn't lose out either. He agreed to take a photo with the bank president, then took a commemorative photo with the bank staff while holding the gold bars. When Lin Shi left, the bank staff and security guards proactively helped him carry his things and escorted him to his car. They smiled and waved until Lin Shi's car was completely out of sight. This scene was naturally recorded by reporters who had long been paying attention to the commotion at the bank. The photos quickly appeared on news sites. Netizens praised the bank's excellent service attitude, but none of that mattered to Lin Shi anymore. Originally, Lin Shi planned to attend the interview to clarify the matter regarding the recording of the vice president and Chu Xiaodi. Now that he had achieved his goal in the shortest time possible, those time-consuming little things could be ignored. Who knows if they'd even survive the next 3 months? Why waste time on people who were definitely going to die? Right now, Lin Shi was only focused on the pile of gold bars. On the small bed of about 10 square meters, 2 piles of dazzling gold bars were stacked. One pile was what he just brought back from the bank. The other pile was the spoils from yesterday's robbery, plus the 3 smaller gold bars he had kept from before. A total of 120.3 kilograms of gold. Thinking that this amount of gold could be doubled to 240 kilograms, Lin Shi's heart pounded. 120 kilograms of gold. Lin Shi naturally couldn't hold it all in his hands like the first time. He placed his hands on the 2 piles of gold. Duplicate item. As soon as he spoke, the room immediately flashed with a blinding golden light. In front of Lin Shi, gold bars appeared in midair one by one, then crashed down onto the bed with a loud clatter. The iron bed creaked, clearly unable to bear the weight. But Lin Shi didn't care if he might fall out of bed tonight. He counted them. He had duplicated 123 gold bars, 120 large bars, and 3 small bars. Not a single one was missing. Lin Shi breathed a sigh of relief, then smiled in satisfaction. 25 million turning into 50 million in just 2 days. Anyone would go crazy with joy. Initially, he wasn't sure if it would succeed. If the treasure bowl had a duplication limit, if it could only duplicate gold bars he touched, or if there were other restrictive factors, the duplication might have failed. Fortunately, he had worried too much. This item duplication ability was even stronger than he thought. At this moment, the treasure bowl interface also changed. Treasure bowl, storage space function, 6 by 6 by 6, wealth points required for upgrade, 2000. Item duplication function, 1, wealth points required for upgrade, 10,000. The item duplication function only had 1 attempt left. He wondered if the number of duplication attempts would increase after upgrading. Lin Shi began organizing the gold bars. Every gold bar from the bank had a serial number. He set aside the 60 duplicated gold bars. This was the gold he planned to sell back to the bank. Then he set the remaining 63 duplicated gold bars aside. He would find a way to sell this gold. Lin Shi held the 2 original 100-gram gold bars and muttered, "Upgrade space." Lin Shi suppressed his emotions and began executing his plan to upgrade the treasure bowl's space. The gold bars in his hands vanished. The treasure bowl interface immediately changed. In the blink of an eye, the space in his consciousness doubled in length, width, and height. The total volume increased 8 times. Treasure bowl, storage space function, 12 by 12 by 12. Wealth points required for upgrade, 4,000. Item duplication function, 1. Wealth points required for upgrade, 10,000. For each subsequent level, the wealth points required for the upgrade doubled. Without stopping, Lin Shi successively used 4, 8, and 16 gold bars to upgrade the space. After using up 30 kilograms of gold bars and undergoing 4 upgrades, the storage space became Treasure Bowl. Storage space, 96 by 96. Wealth points required for upgrade, 32,000. Item duplication function, 1. Wealth points required for upgrade, 100,000. The space area had reached over 9,000 square meters, and the volume was nearly 900,000 cubic meters, equivalent to a museum, or in other words, equivalent to over 29,000 shipping containers stacked together. The current space was large enough. He still had 90 kilograms of gold bars and 3 small gold bars. This time, Lin Shi held 10 kilograms of gold bars, full of anticipation. Upgrade item duplication function. As soon as he spoke, the gold bars in his hands vanished. On the interface, the numbers jumped rapidly and then stopped. Treasure bowl. Storage space. 96 by 96. Wealth points required for upgrade. 32,000. Item duplication function. 4. Wealth points required for upgrade. 2,000. The number of duplications had increased. It even tripled in one upgrade. This showed that as long as he continued upgrading, he could gain even more duplication attempts. Lin Shi's eyes lit up. If he kept repeating the trick of buying gold at the bank and selling it, could he upgrade the treasure bowl infinitely? But he quickly sobered up. Buying gold at the bank and selling it could be excused as youthful inexperience the first time. Taking a loss was taking a loss. But doing it again would definitely arouse suspicion. Moreover, duplicated gold couldn't be used for upgrades and was hard to sell. Currently, every Xia nation citizen's bank account was monitored by the state. A large sum of money of unknown origin would quickly be investigated by the authorities. Besides the initial 25 million, any more money couldn't be exposed, not to mention spending it all. He was upgrading the treasure bowl to prepare for the upcoming extreme cold apocalypse. If he wasted time upgrading instead of stockpiling food and supplies, it would completely contradict his original purpose. Furthermore, the best time to collect gold was after the apocalypse hit. A month into the apocalypse, flora and fauna worldwide would die en masse. Human food would become severely scarce. By then, a single steamed bun could be exchanged for a kilogram of gold. No starving person would care about gold, silver, or jewels. Thinking it through, Lin Shi placed his hands on all the remaining gold bars. Continue upgrading the item duplication function. The gold bars in his hands quickly vanished. The numbers on the treasure bowl interface kept jumping. The gold bars disappeared completely. The treasure bowl interface updated to treasure bowl, storage space, 96 East 96 side 96. Wealth points required for upgrade, 32,000. Item duplication function, 22. Wealth points required for upgrade, 588,500. Lin Shi was overjoyed, a smile blooming on his face. With every upgrade, the number of duplications doubled and added 1. A total of 22 duplication attempts, according to the current upgrade pattern. The next time he upgraded the item duplication function, he would have 45 duplication attempts. But that was a matter for after the apocalypse. Right now, the most important thing was stockpiling supplies. At this moment, Lin Shi still had 320,000 dirham. He needed to sell the gold bars provided by the bank to recover his capital. Considering the gold bars he just received today, Lin Shi decided to wait 2 days before selling them. That would be safer. Then he'd deal with the other gold bars that couldn't be exposed. Lin Shi found a factory producing high-frequency heating equipment in High City online and drove straight there. He spent 20,000 to buy a small metal melting machine. Then, he went to another factory and bought a few crucibles and gold casting molds for over 1,000. Returning to the warehouse, he began the process. Melting, recasting, reshaping. By 3 o'clock a.m., the 61,000-gram gold bars had been forged by Lin Shi into 180 gold nuggets of various sizes. Lin Shi had already figured out how to deal with these gold nuggets. In the eastern suburbs of High City, there was a pawn shop. On the surface, it was a pawn shop, but in reality, this pawn shop housed a gang smuggling all sorts of contraband. They accepted everything and sold everything. Lin Shi knew this because this pawn shop still existed after the apocalypse. He heard someone once traded a few hundred caddies of rice for a handgun there. Lin Shi decided to take 5 kilograms of gold nuggets there tomorrow to check it out. Even if it was just a rumor, he could still use these gold nuggets to exchange for cash. Packing the gold nuggets and tools into his space, Lin Shi finished his day's work and slept soundly. Following a steady breathing rhythm, Lin Shi slowly stretched his body. A second later, he suddenly threw a palm strike, then gently pulled it back. Sometimes as still as a maiden, sometimes as swift as a fleeing hare. His movements were smooth like flowing water and drifting clouds, similar yet slightly different from before. This was a training method designed by Sia Nation scientists in the past to help humanity survive better in extreme conditions. It required a certain level of physical fitness to begin practicing. After a few days of basic training, Lin Shi clearly felt his body's flexibility increase significantly. His strength and endurance had also increased quite a bit. He began trying to practice this cultivation method called resonance. Scientists from his past life hypothesized that after the geomagnetic storm erupted, a miraculous substance appeared in the air due to changes in the Earth's magnetic field. Once absorbed by living organisms, this substance could significantly improve their physical constitution. The proof was that just by surviving the first 3 years of the apocalypse, flora and fauna also began to mutate. Their blood and muscles contained this mysterious substance. The animals that luckily survived grew increasingly massive. A small number of plants could grow in the snow at temperatures tens of degrees below zero. But the changes this substance brought to humans were very minor. Aside from helping humans withstand the cold better in extreme conditions, there seemed to be no other obvious changes. Therefore, in the 6th year of the apocalypse, scientists and martial artists jointly researched this training method, and it was widely popularized among survivors. By the 7th year, this set of movements could help humans quickly absorb the substance. In his previous life, after more than a year of practice, Lin Shi could stay outdoors for 2 to 3 hours without wearing a down jacket in extremely cold conditions. At that time, he heard that someone in the military had achieved the state of unlocking their DNA genetic code, but he didn't know if it was true. After completing a sequence of movements, Lin Shi felt his body heat up. He took a shower, ate a hearty breakfast, and drove towards the eastern suburbs. Lin Shi drove to the eastern suburbs and searched for over an hour before finding that pawn shop. It was hidden in an old residential area. Chengxin Pawn Shop. The signboard was faded, the storefront tiny and pitch black. Lin Shi thought for a moment, pulled a handgun from his storage space, checked the ammo, and tucked it securely into his pocket before getting out of the car. Being careful wouldn't lead to major mistakes. He carried a backpack with 5 kilograms of gold and walked into the shop. Stepping inside, the first thing that caught his eye was a large screen painted with the character Key. Past the screen, a man behind the counter was fiddling with something, so focused he didn't notice Lin Shi's arrival. Knock knock! Lin Shi tapped lightly on the counter. The man looked up, saw an unfamiliar face, and immediately became alert. Only then did Lin Shi clearly see that the man was holding a pitch-black crossbow. Its sleek curves exuded power. On the table, there was also an unattached sniper scope and a few other components. Judging by its shape, this was an intercepting crossbow produced in the Lighthouse Nation. It was much more powerful than a handgun. It was said it could pierce an elephant's skull at a distance of 150 meters. Its firing rate was comparable to a handgun. It had high accuracy, was easy to use, and could be assembled and disassembled at will. The sound was quieter than a handgun, and the arrows could be retrieved and reused. In his past life, if he had this crossbow, he could have practically run rampant in the apocalypse. He really hadn't come to the wrong place. Noticing Lin Shi's gaze, Zi Jingxin grabbed a cloth to cover the crossbow. Although he didn't think the young man in front of him recognized it, Zi Jingxin still explained, "My kid likes playing with these things. What can I do for you, young man?" Lin Shi didn't expose him. He placed his backpack on the counter and unzipped it, revealing the gold inside. Zi Jingxin's eyes lit up. He picked up a gold nugget and examined it. "Selling or pawning? Cash or transfer? I want to trade for goods," Lin Shi said. Hearing this, Zi Jingxin lost his indifferent demeanor and looked at Lin Shi seriously. Ordinary people didn't know you could trade for goods here. Only acquaintances or those introduced by acquaintances knew he traded goods. Since the apocalypse hadn't arrived yet, Zi Jingxin naturally hadn't expanded his business. "Who introduced you? What are you trading for?" Zi Jingxin asked. Lin Shi spoke bluntly. "That crossbow you just covered up, can I trade for it?" Zi Jingxin observed Lin Shi, seemingly guessing his age, and said, "Do you know what that is?" Lin Shi was about to speak when the back door was suddenly pushed open. Before seeing the person, a voice rang out. "Old Z, has my stuff arrived?" A tall, burly man stepped past the screen. Only then did he notice someone else in the room, and he immediately looked Lin Shi up and down warily. Zi Jingxin said to the burly man, "The goods are here, but they aren't assembled yet. Go inside first. I have some business to attend to." At this moment, the burly man finally saw the bag of gold on the counter. A greedy glint immediately flashed in his eyes. Seeing a burly man enter through the small door behind the counter, Zi Jingxin finally spoke up. "What do you want to trade for? Speak quickly, I have another customer. I want to trade for an intercepting crossbow from your inventory, or an elite stealth crossbow. Either is fine. I need a full set of arrows, plus 54 rounds of handgun ammo. The more, the better." Zi Jingxin's pupils shrank and he sized Lin Shi up a few more times. In this line of business, the most important thing was having a good eye for people. Zi Jingxin could tell who was trustworthy and who wasn't just by looking at them a few times. He never traded with reckless fools to avoid bringing trouble upon himself, nor did he trade with ordinary people. Ordinary people didn't need his goods. He only dealt with those who frequently walked the edge, or mercenaries. These people usually disregarded life and death. Once they got what they wanted, they only knew gratitude. After years of doing business, Zi Jingxin had built his wealth relying on his eye for people. But looking at Lin Shi, he wasn't sure. At first glance, Lin Shi looked like a rich kid coming to pawn something. Looking closer, he noticed Lin Shi's gaze was clear and restrained, yet incredibly sharp. His body was tense, his limbs seemingly relaxed but actually always ready to strike. Zi Jingxin had only seen this kind of vigilance in veterans who had experienced life and death. But the young man in front of him had skin and hands completely different from those who lived on the edge of life and death. Too fair, no calluses on his hands, and no murderous aura of a desperado. Yet he could instantly recognize his unassembled intercepting crossbow. Zi Jingxin hesitated. Finally, he decided to trust his instincts. "Kid, the stuff you want can't be traded with just these gold nuggets. As long as you have what I need, money isn't an issue." Zi Jingxin nodded. "Follow me." Zi Jingxin turned and pushed open the door behind the counter. The burly man was still standing there. Pushing the door open and seeing him standing by the door, he said, "Old Z, why are you bringing this kid inside? Old Jin, leave your stuff there for now. I'll let this little brother pick first." So the burly man's name was Old Jin. Lin Shi felt a strong murderous aura radiating from him. Old Jin glanced at Lin Shi, his tone disdainful. Old Z, are you so short on money now that you'll do business with anyone? A kid whose hair hasn't even grown in yet? Selling goods to him? Aren't you afraid your joint will get busted in a few days? Z Jinkson narrowed his eyes, his smile fading. My business is my own concern, Lin Shi thought to himself. Dog bothering me. Cough. I'm just afraid our years of business will be ruined by this kid. Old Jin snorted coldly, glaring fiercely at Lin Shi. Lin Shi calmly looked straight back at him. Facing a beast, you must stay calm so you won't be seen as prey. Z Jinkson didn't want to say more and gestured for Lin Shi to follow. They walked down a pitch-black hallway to a thick alloy door. Z Jinkson took out a key and opened the door. Fumbling on the wall, he pulled a string and the lights in the room flickered on. Lin Shi saw rows of wooden shelves. Come in. Z Jinkson led the way. Inside the room were indeed wooden shelves of varying heights. On them were wooden boxes of different sizes, all sealed shut. You couldn't see what was inside. Lin Shi followed him to a wooden shelf. Xie Jingxin took down a box, used a small knife to pick the lock, opened the box, and removed the top layer of foam. Inside was an unassembled intercepting crossbow. Here's the crossbow, 200,000, firm price. Xie Jingxin stared intently at Lin Shi, not missing a single expression on his face. This price was high, but if this young man didn't know the market, he could make a handsome profit. Lin Shi didn't flinch. He said with a displeased expression, a brand new handgun is only a few tens of thousands. You dare ask for 200,000 for a crossbow? I remember the market price for a fake crossbow in the Lighthouse Nation is only about 8,000 US dollars. Give me a real price. I need a lot of things. I won't let you make a small profit. He still had to buy a lot of things. He couldn't be treated like a sheep waiting to be slaughtered. Haha. Old Z laughed, showing no sign of guilt on his face.
Where did this kid come from? All right, I'll give you a fair price. 100,000. It took a lot of work to get my hands on this stuff. I can't just sell it for pennies. Lin Shi countered with 60,000, 90,000. Can't go any lower, 65,000. In the end, Lin Shi negotiated the price down to 80,000. He wanted 50 crossbows, but since the bolts were disposable, Xi Jinhan didn't have that many. Otherwise, Lin Shi would have pointed out even more of their flaws. Next up were the 5.45mm pistol rounds. Lin Shi wanted all of Xi Jinhan's stock, 2,000 rounds. The place was well stocked with all sorts of sniper rifles, assault rifles, and handguns, a full arsenal of firearms. But aside from the 5.45mm pistols, Lin Shi only wanted 2 AKs and a full supply of ammunition. Initially, Lin Shi had wanted a few Chinese-made rifles, which were world-renowned for their durability in harsh conditions, but Xie Jinhan said Chinese firearms were hard to come by. He didn't have any. Lin Shi didn't want a single one of the other firearms. Sniper rifles and other precision weapons would become useless scrap metal in the extreme cold. In such conditions, due to thermal expansion and contraction, the resistance of the gun's components increases and the lubricating oil thickens. The more sophisticated the weapon, the more likely it is to jam. Some models even crack in the extreme cold. Sniper rifles, precision rifles, and some sophisticated handguns would all be unusable. In contrast, the crude 5.45mm pistols and the AKs could still function, more or less. As for the AKs, they were designed to operate normally in harsh conditions, so that goes without saying. But even if they didn't jam, the lifespan of these guns would be drastically reduced. They'd need maintenance after just a few shots to keep firing. Otherwise, the water vapor generated from the hot barrel would quickly freeze in the extreme cold. During a blizzard, snow could easily get into the barrel. Their value as a deterrent far outweighed their practical use. For self-defense, a pistol would suffice. Besides, Lin Shi had more than just one handgun. But for hunting or scavenging outside, cold weapons were still the better choice. The post-apocalyptic Ice Age was also the age of cold weapons. In the end, Lin Shi chose 3 Nepalese military knives and 3 daggers. As for the Tang swords Xie Jinhan was peddling, Lin Shi refused. I thought all you young people were into these kinds of swords nowadays, Xie Jinhan muttered. Tang swords had indeed become very popular online in recent years. While very sharp, their blades were too straight and long. In extremely low temperatures, they could easily break upon impact with a hard object or another weapon. Lin Shi just smiled, offered no explanation, and asked, "Do you take custom orders?" Xie Jinhan said confidently, "Name it. If I can get my hands on it, I will. I need the best military-grade cold-weather gear, complete with insulated boots, tactical gloves, and helmets. It has to be the best, the most cold-resistant. Can you get it?" Xie Jinhan's eyes widened. A full set of high-end military cold-weather combat gear consisted of more than 10 items, designed for fighting in temperatures of several dozen degrees below zero. The price was not low. Each set would cost at least a few $100,000.
Lin Shi then added the quantity, 50 sets. All in my size. 50 sets? Heh. Ji Jinhan's eyes were wide as saucers. Are you planning to go to war? He asked in astonishment. Damn, this kid is loaded. Lin Shi lied with a straight face. I'm planning to live in Antarctica for a few years. That sounds like a load of crap. Xie Jinhan obviously didn't buy it, but after hearing the rest of Lin Shi's shopping list, he started to think there might be some truth to it. 5 night vision goggles, 20 military-grade walkie-talkies, 20 low-temperature resistant single-person tents, 50 military-grade cold-proof sleeping bags. Also, get me some military-grade repeating crossbows with as many bolts as possible. And as for bullets, just make as many as you can. Xi Jinhan did a quick mental calculation. The total value of these items already exceeded 10 million. For an order this big, you'll need to give me a deposit of at least 1 million. I only accept cash or gold. Xi Jinhan's request was perfectly reasonable. Lin Shi nodded. I'll be back tonight. He had plenty of gold bars in his dimensional space, but he couldn't just pull them out in front of him. After agreeing on a time, Lin Shi left the pawnshop with a hiking backpack Xi Jinhan had given him. The moment Lin Shi left, Xi Jinhan and Liao Jin went back to assembling crossbows. Liao Jin asked slyly, Old Xi, is this one a fat sheep? Liao Jin, don't you get any ideas about him, Xi Jinhan said, referring to Lin Shi. He couldn't figure this young man out, and he didn't want any trouble. When he asked for a deposit, the young man hadn't hesitated for a second. Someone who could so easily produce that much cash or gold and was buying this much equipment was definitely not an ordinary person. More importantly, he had never seen such composure and ease in a 20-year-old. Hearing Xi Jinhan's words, Lao Jin fell silent, a dark glint flashing in his eyes. Leaving the pawnshop, he returned to his car. Seeing no surveillance cameras around, he stored the items in his space. That evening, after dinner, Lin Shi took out 5 kilograms of gold from his space and headed to Xi Jinhan's pawnshop. The suburbs, already deserted, were even more silent at night. Lin Shi walked straight into the pawnshop and handed the gold bars to old Xi for inspection. After checking the gold, Xi Jinhan said, All right, you can pay the rest when the goods arrive. Okay. Lin Shi wasn't worried about old Xi skipping town. First, the man was known in the prepper community for his good reputation. His prices were steep, but he always delivered on time. Second, he had no other use for this gold. Even if he lost it, it wouldn't be a significant loss. Lin Shi turned to leave, but was called back by Xi Jinhan. Wait. Xi Jinhan hesitated for a moment, then said cautiously, Be careful tonight. Lin Shi froze, then immediately understood. Thanks. Be careful tonight? What did a man like him need to be careful of? People, obviously. Someone was watching him. The car moved along the quiet street. As a precaution, Lin Shi drove slowly. It wasn't long before he slammed on the brakes. A row of caltrops lay scattered across the road ahead. Lin Shi's eyes narrowed. He shifted into reverse, floored the gas pedal, and shot backward to the intersection he had just passed. He quickly shifted gears, changed direction, and sped down another street. This move completely caught the ambusher off guard. A normal person would have either gotten a flat tire and been forced to stop for repairs, or gotten out of the car to assess the situation and clear the caltrops. Who would just turn and flee without a second thought? Lao Jin, who had laid the caltrops, was hiding in a nearby alley, dressed in black and wearing a helmet, waiting for his prey to fall into the trap. Seeing what happened, Lao Jin cursed, shit, and revved his engine to chase after Lin Shi. After driving a few hundred meters, Lin Shi heard the roar of a motorcycle engine behind him. Through the rearview mirror, he saw a figure dressed entirely in black, wearing a helmet, their face obscured under the dim streetlights. Lin Shi turned onto a deserted road. The motorcycle stuck close behind him. Lao Jin's face, with only his murky eyes visible, held a vicious expression. He had risked his life for months just to earn a little bit of blood money. If he could catch this fat sheep and squeeze a few $100 million out of him, he could live a life of ease for a long time. These rich second-generation kids were the most afraid of dying. All he had to do was use a few tricks, scare him a little, play a little dirty, and they would obediently hand over the money to save their own skin. This wasn't the first time Liao Jin had done this. He had never failed before. Lin Shi's wealthy appearance and young face had sparked Liao Jin's greed. After passing a residential area, Liao Jin instantly gunned the engine, shot ahead of Lin Shi, and unexpectedly blocked his car. At the same time, he secretly placed his hand on the dagger hidden at his thigh. The moment Lin Shi got out of the car, he would immediately take control of the kid. It was only 8 in the evening, still early. Even though the suburbs were quiet, there were still a few people passing by. This was the time when people were most likely to let their guard down. A typical rich kid would have stormed out of the car by now, and Lao Jin had already destroyed the surveillance cameras on this road. He just needed to quickly snatch the person and the car the moment he got out, and it would be very difficult to trace him. However, Lin Shi was no ordinary young man. He was a reincarnator who had lived through the apocalypse and witnessed the ugliest side of humanity. Lin Shi gripped the steering wheel, a ruthless glint in his eyes. He slammed his foot on the accelerator and the SUV shot forward. Its speed instantly surged. At that speed, a dozen meters would take only a second. A moment later, Lao Jin's pupils suddenly contracted. He tried to dodge, but it was too late. Crash! A loud bang, followed by the thud of a heavy object hitting the ground. Lao Jin and his motorcycle were sent flying more than 10 meters by the powerful impact. The front of the car was also heavily damaged, a headlight shattered, and the bumper deeply dented. In comparison, Lao Jin's motorcycle was in even worse shape. Its parts were twisted and scattered all over the road. The motorcycle, which he had prepared for a quick getaway, had become the main reason for his failure. If it had been a car, Lin Shi would have found a more secluded spot to make his move. But Lao Jin had used a motorcycle to block the road, practically begging for death. He couldn't be blamed for acting swiftly and decisively. Hearing the crash, people in the distance looked for the source of the sound, but they were too far away to see anything. Lin Shi calmly got out of the car and walked over to Lao Jin. Lao Jin was still conscious, spitting up fresh blood, his limbs twitching. He glared fiercely at Lin Shi, but couldn't utter a word. The hunter had become the hunted. He never expected a young man who looked barely 20 to be so ruthless. Without even knowing why, he had dared to ram straight into him. Wasn't he afraid of hitting the wrong person? Lin Shi stopped about a meter from Lao Jin and whispered, "Are you surprised? Wondering why I dared to hit you?" Lin Shi's calm and detached demeanor made Lao Jin's pupils shrink. He was wrong. This wasn't some fat sheep before him, but a cold-blooded killer who wouldn't even blink. Ugh, Lao Jin was still struggling like a dying man. The impact had completely shattered his left thigh, his left ribs had pierced his internal organs, and his right arm had slammed hard against the ground. It was also mangled. At this moment he was completely immobilized. If he had any strength left to fight back, he would have to kill this kid. Lao Jin silently swore that if he recovered from his injuries, he would make sure Lin Shi died a horrible death. But Lin Shi wasn't going to give him that chance. He squatted down, picked up a piece of steel pipe that had fallen from the motorcycle, and under Lao Jin's terrified gaze, plunged it straight into his throat. Lao Jin's eyes rolled back, his mouth gaped open and then shut, his fierce gaze seeming to curse Lin Shi with his last breath. Even in death, Lao Jin couldn't understand. He wouldn't have dared to kill someone here, so how could Lin Shi? Lin Shi whispered as he drove up, "I noticed that the cameras on this stretch of road were all broken. You took care of that, didn't you? Thanks for finding me such a good burial spot." Lao Jin tried to say something, but the light in his eyes quickly faded from the fatal wound. Lin Shi quickly cleaned up Lao Jin's body, along with the debris at the scene and his motorcycle, then vanished without a trace. The road was empty. By the time someone who heard the noise ran over, all they found was a chillingly fresh pool of bright red blood. A highly vigilant resident called the police. The police collected a blood sample and confirmed it was human, but there was no evidence at the scene to prove a murder had occurred there. The cameras were all destroyed, there was no victim, and there were no witnesses. The incident couldn't even be filed as a case, and so it ended. Lin Shi drove a short distance before catching a ride home. This wasn't the first time he had killed someone, so he felt no fear. In the apocalypse, everyone is a hunter, and everyone is prey. He was no saint. If you dared to target him, you couldn't blame him for being ruthless. Lin Shi went home, took a shower, and went to sleep. The next day, Lin Shi checked the time. It was March 7th, the 7th day since his rebirth. He noticed that the international price of gold had risen by 5 units in the past 2 days. Therefore, he decided to sell his gold today for cash and continue his plan of stockpiling goods. After his morning cultivation and breakfast, Lin Shi went to the bank. Lin Shi, who had been a VIP client just 2 days ago, was recognized the moment he walked in with a suitcase. "Mr. Lin, what can I assist you with today?" Ever since Chu Xiaodi's leaking of client information was exposed by Lin Shi, the bank, though not making it public for the sake of its reputation, had quietly fired her. Lin Shi's current client manager was a man in his 30s named Feng Jian. This was the result of Feng Jian recognizing Lin Shi's potential and bribing a manager with a carton of cigarettes. Feng Jian was processing a credit card for a client when he saw Lin Shi, and his eyes lit up. When he saw Lin Shi carrying the suitcase, he practically beamed. That demeanor, that suitcase, wasn't it exactly the same as when Lin Shi bought 25 million in gold bars before? Previously, when he heard that Chu Xiaodi's client wanted to buy 25 million in gold bars, he and the other client managers were green with envy. He never expected such a golden opportunity to fall into his lap. Feng Jian immediately dropped his plan to handle the credit card application and asked another colleague to assist the customer. Compared to the commission from 25 million in gold, handling a few trivial credit cards was nothing. Feng Jian quickly approached Lin Shi, his smile incredibly earnest. "Mr. Lin, it's good to see you. I'm Feng Jian, your new client manager. What brings you in today?" "Ma? Let's talk inside." "Yes, right this way." Feng Jian attentively led Lin Shi to the VIP counter, catching the envious glares of his colleagues. He felt a surge of pride. A man who casually buys 25 million in gold must have even more savings in other banks. If he could attract those funds, his performance would skyrocket. The other bank employees thought the same. To them, performance meant salary, and VIP clients were their bread and butter. But Feng Jian had acted too quickly. They could only mutter, "That little sycophant." At the VIP counter, just as Lin Shi was about to speak, Feng Jian quickly said, "Mr. Lin, please have a seat and wait a moment." With that, he hurried away. Lin Shi had no choice but to sit and wait. Soon, Feng Jian returned, holding an exquisite gift box. The bank prepared annual gifts for its VIP clients, with different tiers of gifts depending on the client's level. This year, the gift for the highest tier clients was 2 bottles of Maotai liquor. Lin Shi wasn't originally one of the bank's top-tier clients, but Feng Jian wanted to secure this big fish, so he paid for the gift out of his own pocket. As long as Lin Shi returned to the bank for large-scale wealth management, he would not only recoup his investment, but also get a promotion and a raise. He had originally planned to call Lin Shi in the next 2 days, but unexpectedly, Lin Shi came in person. "Mr. Lin, this is this year's gift for you, and this is a small token of my appreciation." Lin Shi paid it no mind, simply nodding before getting straight to the point. "Help me process a buyback for these gold bars." With that, he opened the suitcase. A whole suitcase full of gold bars was revealed. Feng Jian was stunned. The expression on his face was priceless. He confirmed again, "You said you want to sell back these gold bars?" Lin Shi nodded. Feng Jian glanced at the current international gold price and forced a smile. "Mr. Lin, selling the gold bars now would mean taking a loss." Lin Shi had prepared his excuse on the way over. "I know, I've thought it through. Buying so much gold was an impulse buy. I've come to my senses now. Investing in gold isn't profitable. I want to use the money to invest in other fields." The advice didn't change Lin Shi's mind. On the contrary, it made him start to lose his patience. Though reluctant, Feng Jian had to begin the process of buying back the gold bars. The buyback procedure was more complicated than purchasing. They had to check and match the codes on the certificates with the serial numbers on each gold bar, confirm that the packaging was undamaged, and that the gold hadn't been tampered with. This couldn't be completed in a short amount of time. Feng Jian called another teller to help. Hearing that Lin Shi wanted to sell back the gold bars he had just bought, the teller gave Feng Jian a somewhat gloating look, which made Feng Jian's face darken even more. He didn't get a share of the commission when the gold was sold, but now he had to do the hard work of buying it back. If he didn't see Lin Shi as a potential client, Feng Jian would have wanted to shoot daggers at him with his eyes. After a whole morning of bustling activity, all the gold bars were finally sold. Lin Shi's account received 24.78 million, a loss of over 600,000. The objective was achieved. Lin Shi couldn't care less about such a small amount of money. He rejected all of Feng Jian's proposals for wealth management projects. As he left, Lin Shi even smiled as he carried away the 2 bottles of Maotai. Feng Jian was filled with regret. He had lost over 1,000 on that gift, not to mention a whole carton of cigarettes. What made Feng Jian even more furious was that his colleagues later gossiped about him, calling him an idiot. Lin Shi, of course, couldn't be bothered. After leaving the bank, he headed straight for the wholesale grocery market. Rice, he ordered 100 tons, which was 2,000 bags, 1,000 bags of flour, and 100 barrels of cooking oil, 1,000 barrels of salt. Lin Shi stocked up on so much salt because once the sea froze over, obtaining salt would be 100 times harder than it is now. A bag of salt would be more precious than a bag of rice. Salt was cheap now and didn't take up much space, so Lin Shi stocked up on a lot of it. Next came mesiji, sugar, soy sauce, vinegar, and various other seasonings, 100 barrels of each. Instant noodles, sausages, canned meat, and dried noodles, 1,000 cases of each. For hot pot base and various seasoning packets, Lin Shi also ordered 100 cases. Thinking about the harsh winter ahead, being able to eat meat hot pot every day would be true enjoyment. Lin Shi then ordered another 100 cases of high-proof liquor. He didn't need the expensive kind, just something with high purity. It could keep the body warm in the freezing cold, and if he got injured, it could also be used as a disinfectant. In total, 7 trucks were filled with those items. Lin Shi spent over $1 million. The owner of the wholesale grocery market treated Lin Shi like a mobile supermarket, giving him the lowest possible price and looking forward to his next purchase. Even with the fastest delivery, it would take several hours. Lin Shi requested that they send extra people to help unload the goods, paid the deposit, wrote down the address, and then left. He went to the adjacent agricultural market and bought several thousand pounds of various live fish, requesting that they be gutted and scaled. A ton of chicken and duck, 1 to 2 tons of pork, beef, and mutton, and eggs. It was already afternoon, so these items could only be delivered the next day, especially the live fish. Because Lin Shi requested immediate processing, the price per pound increased by a bit, and it would take several days to deliver it all. After that came seafood seasonings, various spices, ginger, and onions. Lin Shi bought several hundred pounds of each. The time stasis property of his space kept stored items in their original state. If the space could hold living things, Lin Shi would have bought more fresh shrimp and crabs. Lin Shi ordered another 3 tons of various vegetables and 3 tons of fruit, scheduling the delivery for the next morning. Next, Lin Shi went to a pharmacy and started buying medicine. Unlike food, an individual couldn't buy too much medicine at once. Lin Shi ran around until evening, visiting over a dozen pharmacies, and only managed to buy 50 boxes of antibiotics, 72 boxes of cold medicine, along with various antidotes and oral medications. As for vitamins, the 2000 IU kind, Lin Shi bought 126 bottles, but it still wasn't enough. In the apocalyptic era, medicine would be extremely scarce. With the coming cold, a common flu could be fatal. Lin Shi planned to order more online. Just then, the first shipment from the wholesale grocery market arrived near the warehouse Lin Shi had rented. He received a call and drove back. As he reached the warehouse door, his cell phone rang again. It was Liao Peng calling. By now, Liao Peng had been in Xia City for 4 days. It seemed he had made some progress. Lin Shi answered the phone, and Liao Peng's voice came from the other end. Boss, I've been all over Xia City these past few days and found 3 locations that are very suitable for your requirements. I've sent the detailed documents to your WeChat. Please take a look. I'm busy right now. I'll call you back tonight. Lin Shi opened the warehouse door and, along with the workers, began unloading the goods. 7 containers of goods. It took over 3 hours to unload everything and move it into the warehouse. After the workers had all left, Lin Shi placed his hand on the pile of supplies and stored everything in his space. Looking at the pile of supplies that only occupied a small corner of his space, Lin Shi knew this was just the beginning. After taking a shower, Lin Shi reviewed the documents Liao Peng had sent. He had to admit, he hadn't misjudged the man. The 3 locations Liao Peng sent were all very suitable for his requirements. High ground, a secluded location, no tall buildings nearby, and construction could begin at any time. Among them, one location was particularly spacious, in the eastern suburbs of Xia City. It was large enough not just for a private shelter, but for an entire residential complex. Lin Shi suspected that his official shelter from his past life had been built here. If that was the case, and the government later requisitioned it, he would suffer a huge loss. This place was a pass. Of the 2 remaining locations, one was behind a mountain in a village in Xiao. The mountain was only about a dozen meters high, with over 10 kilometers of open land in front of it. There used to be a temple on the mountain. Although the temple was in ruins, its foundation was still intact. The final location was in a fishing village called Xidao, on the coast of Xia City. In the village, there was a cliff over 10 meters high, with a flat area on top. A few families used to live there, but had since moved away. Lin Shi sent a message to Liao Peng, telling him to find someone to conduct a geological survey of the mountain with the old temple and the cliff. He didn't want the foundation to collapse. Although the cliff was composed of granite, long-term exposure to wind, storms, and waves might have weathered it, making it no longer suitable for building a shelter. In comparison, the mountain that once had a temple was more in line with his ideas, but everything would have to wait for the survey results. After finishing his work, Lin Shi fell asleep. 3 days later, the items delivered to the warehouse were all fresh food that Lin Shi had bought at the agricultural market. He hired 4 people from the neighborhood to be in charge of receiving and transporting the goods, while he himself went to the lumber market on the 8th. After the cold snap hit, humanity would lose electricity. The gas pipelines of many countries would freeze, rupture, and leak. Humanity would be in desperate need of a heat source. Without fire, food couldn't be cooked. The vast majority of survivors would have to live a miserable existence. Many would freeze to death in their sleep due to the bitter cold. Therefore, wood would become an extremely precious resource. Lin Shi directly bought 500 tons of firewood. Firewood was much cheaper than regular lumber, consisting mostly of various wood scraps. Just that amount of firewood required 25 containers. Luckily, Lin Shi had placed a large order. Otherwise, the lumber market wouldn't have delivered to him. Next were gas canisters and coal. Lin Shi bought as much as he could. He bought up to 800 tons of coal. After that, he bought windproof lighters, flint, and windproof matches. He also ordered cold medicine, antibiotics, disinfectant, bandages, and first aid kits online, as well as oxygen tanks, tactical axes, and jungle knives, and a bulletproof vest. On the 9th, Lin Shi went to the largest power generator factory in Hay City. He bought 10 simple generators, 10 household generators, and 2 industrial generators. The industrial generators were diesel-powered, while the others were quiet gasoline-powered generators. Industrial generators were only for situations requiring extremely high power output. They ran on diesel but were very noisy. Normally, a household generator would be sufficient. Next was electrical wire. After the Ice Age disaster, even if the power grid wasn't destroyed by an electronic storm, the exposed electrical wires would basically freeze and get damaged. Therefore, Lin Shi had carefully planned the installation of the electrical wiring inside his house so that the power supply in his shelter would form a closed circuit. To prevent power outages caused by aging wires, short circuits, or other unexpected incidents, Lin Shi bought tens of thousands of meters of various types of spare electrical wire. Immediately after that came diesel and gasoline. To use the generators, it was essential to stockpile diesel and gasoline, but the sale of petroleum to private individuals was prohibited. If he used the method of filling up gas cans and then transferring the fuel, he didn't know how long it would take to accumulate enough. So, Lin Shi went to the pawn shop again. "I want 100 tons of diesel and 100 tons of gasoline. Are you trying to open a gas station?" Zi Jinhan looked at Lin Shi as if he were joking. Lin Shi gave a wry smile. 100 tons isn't that much. A normal SUV can hold about 100 liters of gas. It would take over 10 fill-ups to get 1 ton. When you're stockpiling, of course, the more the better. He didn't know when the apocalypse would end. At least, by the 8th year of this ice age, he still hadn't seen any signs of it ending. If even Zi Jinhan couldn't help, then his only option was to buy a vehicle with a very large fuel tank and go to various gas stations to collect it bit by bit. Just as Lin Shi was about to explain his plan, Zi Jinhan pondered for a moment and then said, "However, I can probably get you about 10 tons. Lin Shi's eyes flashed with joy, but he quickly suppressed it when he noticed Zi Jinhan's scrutinizing gaze. "How much?" 10 tons of gasoline and 10 tons of diesel in exchange for 2,000 taels of gold. 2,000 taels of gold was over 80 million. Damn, a ton of diesel costs less than 10 million, and gasoline is a little over 10 million. 10 tons of each would only be around 20-something million. Zi Jinhan had directly quadrupled the price. "Don't think it's too expensive. I don't normally do this kind of business. It's very risky. If you don't want it, then forget it," Zi Jinhan said. Lin Shi, of course, was not one to be pushed around. He still had plenty of gold bars left in his space, but the transaction amount needed to be considered. 20 tons of gasoline, 20 tons of diesel. I'll give you 5,000 taels of gold. High risk, high reward. Zi Jinhan bit his lip, then agreed.